history. Let's dive into the series history between these two programs. This is only the second ever meeting between the Governors and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, and it is a big one here, though, for Alabama A&M. They're trying to get a win because the Governors, they have that last lone win back on almost 3 years to the date here, winning that one 28-3 at home here in Fort Terra. We have a little bit of a quarterback matchup between these two. A lot of different quarterbacks have played for both of these squads. Austin Peay started off with Mason Garcia. Didn't work there. He got injured. They go to Austin Smith. But here for Alabama A&M, going with Cornelius Brown. He's one of the names, but they've used 5 different quarterbacks so far. Cornelius Brown, though, by far has the most numbers and the best stats for Alabama A&M. For Austin Peay, I mentioned the name, Austin Smith, who comes in relief to replace the injured Mason Garcia, has done well for the Governors. He's a big body, 6'3", 215 pounds, has a big arm, does the junior from Jonesboro, Georgia. And if you take a look at the comparison between these two squads, you will see that these two quarterbacks are very close in their stats. As well as that, we have a look here. Now let's talk about our keys to the game, brought to you by the Gary Matthews Auto Group. And you have some big ones to look at here for us in this one, Colby.
For Alabama A&M, it starts with not getting beat at the point of attack. They can't let the Govs control the line of scrimmage. They got to keep the Govs off balance with their play calling. They've got to give Austin Peay some different looks because Austin Peay's seen a lot in these first 3 games, and they have to force Smith into extending plays with his feet. He is such a good athlete that sometimes he can get in trouble because he can do so much to extend plays. For the Govs, establish rhythm offensively, get their playmakers the ball in space, and then on defense, get those defensive backs active in the run game. We saw a lot of that last week against Central Arkansas with Ellis, with Sammy Anderson. Look to see more of that today.
Well, we're set for kickoff here, but what happened was Austin Peay came out to one side, Alabama A&M came out to the other, and the official said, no, we're flipping the sides here. So we'll see the Governors set to kick off. This will be Carson Smith, the 5'11", 174-pound redshirt junior, who will kick things off for the Governors. And we are almost underway here from Fort Terra Stadium. Again, Governors 0-3. They lost their first UAC matchup earlier this season against Central Arkansas. That was just a week ago, but they're still looking for win number 1 of the Jeff Ferris era. So kick is underway, and we are underway here between the Governors and the Bulldogs as this one goes out the back of the end zone, and we will see Cornelius Brown and company take the field for Alabama A&M.
Already some woofing between these two teams after the opening kickoff. Both teams really excited for this one, fired up to be at this game. Looking forward to seeing what we see out of Cornelius Brown, the MVP of the 2020 Lending Tree Bowl while he was at Georgia State. But they've, like you said, lined up so many guys under center this year. We're going to see him. We're going to see Avion Smith. We're going to see Xavier Langford, possibly even more.
So the music playing, Cornelius Brown comes out. He's jazzed up. He's got his team ready to go as well. He pats one of his linemen on the shoulder. And now we'll see this first look. 2 receivers split to the right. And now they're going to bring over their tight end. That's number 9, Dion Nelson Jr. And quick pass out, and it's intercepted down the sideline. Is he into the end zone? They're going to move him down, but it's a pick on a hitch for Sammy Anderson Jr.
Sammy Anderson read Cornelius Brown's eyes all the way. He knew exactly where that play was going from the snap and made a perfect play on the football.
Sammy Anderson Jr., take a look at it again. Brown just trying to get that quick out. Sammy Anderson Jr. says, not today, it's mine all day. And Sammy Anderson Jr. comes in already with 2 interceptions caught on the season.
Yeah, number 3 already in 4 games. Just great instincts on the ball for this 5th-year guy out of Cincinnati.
So that's going to bring up Austin Peay. I don't know if maybe they were trying to see if he caught it in. We saw the replay. It was good.
It was closer than I thought it was with him. It looked like he just barely crossed over the boundary.
But Austin Peay will take the field now. Austin Smith and company, they're going to start from the 23-yard line of Alabama A&M. And if you're Coach Jeff Ferris, this is where you want to be at. Play on the other side of the field all day. First snap, drop back. Smith trying to go early. He's stamping around. Finally, the pressure gets to him, and he will go down. That'll be a sack for Jamarian Ellis, and this has been a trouble spot for Austin Peay as that offensive line.
Yeah, this is a trend that has been ongoing this year. The Governor's giving up sacks and getting behind the sticks early on. The pocket just collapsed there, and that's going to be a trouble spot today against an Alabama A&M defensive line that's got a lot of high major transfers on it.
2nd down and 18 now for the Governors after starting in great field position. How about you hand off that one to Ramon Copeland Jr.? Copeland Jr. is going to get a few yards, gets close to the original line of scrimmage, brings up about 3rd and 11.
Love that call. Love the idea of getting Ramon Copeland the ball with a little bit of space, a little bit of head of steam behind him. Look to see that out of him, out of Barnes, out of Hatib Lyles, Jaden Nealon, Malik Bowen-Sims. These guys, they've got to find a way to get them the ball in the space.
So starting in a good field position, then the loss of 8 on the sack, have the Governors looking at 3rd down and 11. We'll see what Coach Ferris and company want to call here. Needing 11 for the 1st down to keep this drive alive. Here's Smith, back to pass, swings one out, has a man open, just dropping it as Bowen-Sims tried to put that one at the chest where it was good, but he tries to cradle it and loses the ball.
Just a little bit behind on the pass, and Malik let the ball get into his body a little bit too much. Governor's going to have to settle for a field goal attempt here.
So again, a great start. We saw the interception by Sammy Anderson Jr. The Govs had the momentum. Now they'll step out to try to attempt the field goal here from Carson Smith. Kick from about the 31, and it is up, and it is good.
And that'll be career-long 41 for Carson Smith.
So Carson Smith gets us on the board. It's 3-0 Governors. We have more action coming to you on ESPN+. Well, after a 41-yard field goal from Carson Smith, the Governors lead 3-0 here with 13:33 remaining in the first quarter. But last week, the Governors struggled. They were on the road against Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas ranked 7th. They had a big game. Governors, though, it was close through about 2.5 quarters, and then it just kind of the floodgates opened against the Bears.
Yeah, and it's something we've seen a couple of times this year. Getting behind the sticks early in downs, just not being able to really sustain any positive momentum offensively. There were bright spots. Really love what we saw out of Jaden Barnes last week, but it's just got to be more consistent moving forward.
Alabama A&M took on Georgetown out of Kentucky. They won that game 24-16 for win number 2 on the season. They started their season off against Auburn. That's a big task for any team. Austin Peay started against Louisville. That was a team that was in the ACC championship just a year ago.
Yeah, it's rare to say that you'd rather have the SEC team, but after what we've seen from Auburn early on, what we've seen from Louisville early on, I think I'd rather seen Auburn.
So Carson Smith will get a chance to take this off. And how about fitting for Carson Smith? You talked about a career long. We saw earlier today Maddox Trujillo, former governor, Automatics, had a 64-yarder in his game against Utah State. So shout out to Maddox and setting a career long for him as well.
Absolutely striped and beautiful. Even picked up by ESPN on Twitter. Really, really cool for Maddox to see that.
So Carson Smith, who's trying to etch his name in the record book, like Maddox Trujillo. If you look in there, you'll see Maddox's name almost on every kicking category that the Governors have had, will now step up for kick number 2. And this one will go deep again and over the head of the returner. And there will be no return for Alabama A&M's DeQuandrion Welch. And so drive number 2 now for Alabama A&M.
And it looks like Cornelius Brown will be coming back out. Got to have a very, very short memory after that first pass attempt. Got to put that one out of mind, but that was a very, very inauspicious beginning for Cornelius Brown.
Well, and you have to think as well, you're going to see a very talented running back for this team, for Alabama A&M, as you have Donovan Eglin, who is a all-SWAC preseason team. And first play, maybe they thought, well, Austin Peay will take the run as we see Eglin get here. But Austin Peay reads the run perfectly as well. Tackle for a loss there for the Governors. That defensive line sniffing out the run early.
And it looks like Jakari Patterson collapsed everything along that Alabama A&M front, got in the backfield quickly. The Governors have good size along the front line. I think they're going to use that speed today against Alabama A&M.
So a loss of 3 brings up 2nd down and 13 for Alabama A&M. Brown will check around, sends a man in motion. Sends it back. Now, again, back to pass. Has a couple options. The post is open. Wide across the middle. 2 Governors are finally there to bring him down. A great pitch and catch there between Brown and Welch. And the freshman has Alabama A&M on the move.
Austin Peay creeping up to the line a little bit too much that time. And just finding space. I mean, that's going to be the key for Alabama A&M today, running those choice routes to just find open space against this Austin Peay defense.
And the Governors will bring out 4 members in the secondary. They run that with the 2 safeties high, and actually will move back and have almost 5 as the run is on. This is Eglin again, and Eglin's going to have about 9 and only need 1 here for a first down on 2nd down from the 36-yard line.
Alabama A&M maybe looking to go a little bit more up-tempo here, try to keep the Governors off balance a little bit.
So bringing in a little bit more beef, it looks like. Oh, no, they're going to have to replace the right tackle. So we see number 78 coming off the field limping.
That's Neville Brown.
Neville Brown, the junior. He was not replaced by their man who was 2nd on the depth chart. This is Christian Anderson who comes in. And now it's a keeper by Brown. Design. He's going to get met, though. Only gets about 2 or 3 maybe on the carry. Good job by the Governors secondary to come up and make that tackle.
Keith Gallman making the start today. Step and wrap. Great tackling for him on that one.
Dorian Davis, who's normally there, out for this one. He is inactive for the Governors, as well as one of the top receivers, Duke Miller, for Alabama A&M. We got that note very late this afternoon that Duke Miller was a no-go for this afternoon, so the leading receiver not in for Alabama A&M. And now we see fingers pointing from the Governors. They're saying false start, and we'll see what the call is from our head official. So a false start there for Alabama A&M.
I believe they had that on Elias Cloy.
Yeah, Elias Cloy, the Georgia Tech transfer, backs him up 5. Run again here on the ground, runs into one of his own is Eglin, and that allows this Governors defense to swarm in for a gain of maybe 1. Brings up 2nd down at about 14.
And Alabama A&M can't get in the habit of just we're going to automatically default to running on first down. The Governors are ready for that. They're going to be attacking along that offensive front, trying anything to keep Eglin from getting going against them.
Tyrell Lawrence was in the way, the 355-pound redshirt junior guard in the way of his running back as we go empty formation here now for Alabama A&M. Brown back to pass, looks right now. It's a Zion run. It's going to be a quarterback draw, trying to get a few yards. Governors again sniff that one out. A big tackle there by Dion Hunter. And the man from Albuquerque, New Mexico, has a good-looking 3rd and 11 here for Alabama A&M.
No matter who the Govs have been lined up against this year, Hunter has looked phenomenal. 6+ tackles in all 3 games, 8 tackles and a sack against Louisville in the opener. This is a guy that's been counted on in big spots all year.
So 3rd down and 11 for Alabama A&M. The Bulldogs trying to get the hard count to see if the Governors will jump. Now the play getting called into Cornelius Brown. Again, empty formation. Back to pass is Brown. He's looking around, almost gets hit, finds his receiver again. This is Welch, and again, Austin Peay sniffs it out perfectly.
Jakari Patterson, great open field tackle right there. For a guy on the line to come out in space against a running back and just shut him down. That shiftiness, that juke, nothing. Jakari Patterson shut him down on that one.
Got about a gain of 2 there, so 4th down and 9 as McCready will step out to attempt the field goal here. This is Austin McCready, the junior, who steps out. Holder is going to be Christian Silverstein. Snapper should be Logan McGregor. It's going to be a long kick here from about the 38. It is up, and it is good. So a 48-yard field goal for Austin McCready. And we are tied at 3 with 9:02 here in the first.
And Ethan, I want to go back to something you said about losing Miller for Alabama A&M. That is a huge blow. I mean, anytime you got a guy who went for 6 catches and 92 yards against Auburn, getting loose, getting open consistently against an SEC secondary, to not have that weapon on your offense is just a killer.
And again, I mean, that's going back to that first drive, first play. That's more than likely trying to get a player on kind of par with your quarterback that has a little bit of that chemistry. You're down now to a guy who's probably switched sides of the field, playing on a different side of the field, and just the awareness with your quarterback to try to find maybe a little bit of that groove that you may have with that number 1 receiver ends up leading to an interception. Again, Alabama A&M, though, had a really good drive there and have to settle for a field goal as well. So the Governors and the Bulldogs tied at 3 now, and it'll be McCready's job to kick this one away. And he's got some talented guys that he's kicking to in the back of this end zone, including Ramon Copeland Jr., who is a talented and speedy player for this Governors offense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm interested to see what the Govs do against kind of a longer field, but Copeland is a guy that is more than capable of taking it and making a very short field.
McCready's kick is away, and it is going to go to Copeland Jr., who takes it from just under the U of Austin Peay in the end zone. Copeland Jr. has a lane. He's still on the outside. He's got a man to beat. Now another down the sideline. He's tripped up past the 50. It's a big return for Ramon Copeland Jr., and a shoestring saving tackle saves this one from being 6 for the Governors.
Copeland, you get him the ball and you give him even the tiniest crease. Doesn't matter where you're getting him off the kickoff, off the punt return, outside in the slot. This is a guy that has game-breaking, game-changing speed wherever he gets the ball.
Saving tackle made there by Burnett Jr. And I wonder if the special teams coordinator for Alabama A&M and McCready are going to have a conversation about please don't kick it to number 1 going forward. Austin Smith comes back out, drops back to pass, looking for a receiver, swings this one. He's got a man deep on the post route. If it's Barnes, it is almost a chance to stretch it early. Jaden Barnes had his man beat just a little too strong from number 4.
Yeah, just a little bit too much air under that one, but Barnes got really, really good separation from the line, and Austin Smith made a great read, just overshot him.
So Austin Peay now 2nd down and 10 from the Alabama A&M 44 after a great return from Copeland Jr. Austin Peay, though, trying to get some offensive production here. Sent the tight end in motion, going to hand off. Run up the middle, I believe that's Allison who's going to take that for about a gain of 3. That was Lavelle Wright, who gets about 3.
And the Governors need to establish something early downs, getting positive momentum, cannot be getting into these 3rd and 7+ situations they have found themselves in time and again this year.
So 3rd down and 7, Wright will stay in the backfield. Receiver stacked to the left, one on the right for Smith. Smith back to pass quickly, swings it out to his receiver. That's Barnes. Barnes makes a man miss with the cat-like reflexes back down the sideline. And he's tackled out of bounds, but it's a first down for Austin Peay.
Boy, I don't know if the microphones picked it up, but did you hear the entire crowd go, oh?
That's a good feeling for any player when your hometown faithful is behind you and they let you know just how pretty of a play that was. And now Austin Peay will quickly get back to the line. They get the defense to jump. I don't know if they're going to say it was the right tackle, right guard who ends up moving. We'll get the call here from our head official.
It looked like Nick Glenn might have flinched up front for Alabama A&M.
The question will be,
number 90, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And there's the call from our official. It was a offsides call on the defense. Again, a lot of times when you have a defensive lineman like that who jumps, you'll see it here, the hard count. The clap gets Glenn, which then makes the right guard move, and good reaction there by Harrison Wilkes. So Governor's now looking at 1st down and 5. And again, quick throw, swings it quickly to the left. I believe it's an incomplete pass. Try to swing it out to the tight end, Pell. But there is a flag down as well in the backfield. Could have been roughing the passer, may have been a holding. We'll see.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 7. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And that is a big time call. But again, that's a good call by this officiating crew. You have to give hats off. The attack up high on the quarterback by one of the big defensive linemen, Jamarian Ellis. And again, this is going to move this one even deeper into the red zone.
If you're Alabama A&M, you cannot keep eating these penalties. I mean, you put the Govs in 1st and 5, then you back that up with a personal foul, already starting this drive on your side of the field. It just can't keep happening if you want to keep this game close.
Smith back to pass yet again in the red zone, swings it. He's got a man open. That's Copeland Jr. Copeland Jr. dances, and he will find his partner in the end zone and gives a shimmy for a touchdown for Austin Peay.
Copeland just appeared. I thought he had a different receiver targeted entirely, and then Copeland just appears, snatches it out of the air, and jukes 2 guys. I mean, it's going to be hard all day for these Alabama A&M defensive backs against this Austin Peay wide receiver corps because they are so shifty, it's so smooth.
So Ramon Copeland Jr. gets on the board for Austin Peay. That's his 2nd touchdown on the season for number 1, and now Smith attempts to put this one at a 7-point advantage. Kick is up, and it is good. Austin Peay, they lead 10-3 here against Alabama A&M. We'll step aside. We have more football action from Forterra Stadium right here on ESPN+.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field.
And in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the United Athletic Conference.
we want to say thank you to all of our customers.
Choose from one of the largest selections in the state of Tennessee during the end of summer sales event at Matthews Nissan in Clarksville. New Kicks, only $299 per month. $10,000 off the MSRP on a new Armada. $11,000 off the MSRP or 0% APR for 60 months on a new Titan. And get a lifetime warranty and award-winning service.
Get big savings at MatthewsNissan.com.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
Hi, Ghost fans. I'm Ryan Harper, your locally trusted realtor with Byers & Harvey and a former Austin Peay student athlete. Proudly born and raised in Stashville, I know the area from Sango to Fort Campbell. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your property, I'm here to help every step of the way. Give me a call today, and as always, let's go Peay.
And welcome back to Clarksville, Tennessee. Alabama A&M gets set to receive the kickoff after a 5-play, 44-yard drive that took a minute 29 and found Austin Peay's Austin Smith connecting to Ramon Copeland Jr. as we get a look at the players to watch. And we mentioned Duke Miller out in this game, Colby, but still we wanted to talk a little bit about Duke and what he brings to this offense.
That's a guy that's just such a multifaceted three-level receiver. Anybody that has his measurables, I mean, this guy goes 6'1", 184, went to Jackson State before coming to Alabama A&M. He is a incredible player.
So the kick will be underway for Smith, and again, this time returned by Welch. He'll take this one out of the back of the end zone and start going. He's got a man to beat, will not do it. Tackle made at the 21. Good kick coverage by Austin Peay. And that'll be where Alabama A&M takes over. And you mentioned, we talked about Duke Miller. You also mentioned on there you have one of the top linebackers for this squad as well for Alabama A&M, which was Cortez Andrews.
Yeah, Cortez Andrews had a huge week last week for Alabama A&M against Georgetown. 12 tackles, 3 for loss, 2.5 sacks, just a murderer's row for that guy a week ago.
Very tough, as looks like we see our first change at quarterback. This is going to be Smith, who's going to immediately hand off to the running back. And again, the defense comes over. I thought maybe the ball came out. Deion Hunter came over and made the tackle. So now we're seeing Smith, who steps in, the 6'1", 210-pound quarterback, the redshirt junior, I say, from Lexington, South Carolina, has gone 17 of 23, 193 yards on the season with 2 touchdowns. As there's a snap fumble there, ball still on the ground. Governor's flying around. It's scooped up. Austin Peay has a chance. They're returning this one into the end zone. Touchdown, Governors. Touchdown for Austin Peay.
And it looks like that's Jesse Johnson III picking up that loose ball and taking it to the house. Just a miscommunication, it looked like, between quarterback and center. It hit him in the hands, and I'm not quite sure he was expecting it when it got there.
So Jesse Johnson III sees the opportunity for the scoop and score, and Austin Peay quickly in the lead, 16-3, and watch it just bounce around there. And there's Johnson to come in and finish this one up and makes a man miss as well. How about the shiftiness by the DB? So Carson Smith, who's had a pretty busy day, has another attempt. This one goes right through the uprights again. Austin Peay's up 17-3 over Alabama A&M. And again, Austin Peay, the defense, this has been something maybe a challenge has been out there for Trip Weaver's group, is just, can you come out here and finally get out here and make a statement? So far, so good. An interception, a fumble return for a touchdown as well.
Set the tone, and the Governors have risen to that challenge today. You know, Ethan, we now find ourselves for Austin Peay in a position they have not been in this year, and that's with a multi-score lead and all the momentum against their opponent.
So the Jeff Ferris era, we mentioned it. It began, Coach Ferris, 0-3 to start. Had to be a lot of conversations he's having with himself, with his staff, just trying to figure out what can you do. You're playing in a tough UAC competition. You can see Coach Jeff Ferris there. Again, first year at Austin Peay, first year as a head coach. He's been an assistant coach. He has the experience at the D1 level. He's had multiple stops there, but never a head coach. Finally, at Austin Peay, he's getting that opportunity, replacing Scotty Walden, who had a great career at Austin Peay. And now for Coach Jeff Ferris, he's saying, hey, I got to make an impact. Finally, he's feeling probably good here with a 17-3 lead.
And one of the things that has been a theme in his post-game pressers every game this year is that no moral victories. We're not satisfied with moral victories. Yes, the schedule's been hard, but that's no excuse. We've got to come out. We've got to play our game. We got to execute. I think the tone and tenor, at least so far, would be a lot different today.
So a kick return there by Miles Parker will get Alabama A&M out to their own 31. I should say 26. Saw the ball placed up a little bit further, so it looks like they're back at the 26 are the Bulldogs. And again, Cornelius Brown will step back out. And Brown will have a chance here to maybe make some right after we saw Smith fumble that one. Again, Alabama A&M has used 5 quarterbacks on the season, Brown and Smith the most, as Eglin is tackled again in the backfield. And rushing yards, they have been at a minimum for both of these teams. I believe that will stay at 14 yards for Alabama A&M so far in this competition.
And most of that came on the 1 9-yard scamper from Eglin as well. It's just been rough going up front. I mean, the Governors are controlling the line of scrimmage and doing a great job.
So again, that defensive front for Austin Peay having to rise to the challenge as well. Past couple of weeks, they're going up against some really talented offensive lines. Not really getting a chance to make their names known, but they are talented as Brown is going to scramble. Gets out of the pocket, tries to heave one deep. He's got a man. That's Welch, just too far in front of Welch. And that'll be an incomplete pass. There is a flag down in the backfield. Maybe in the area of holding. We'll see. Brown had a lot of time to scramble.
But it was just immediately.
Holding. Offense, number 63, 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Brown immediately was flushed out of the pocket. I mean, it's going to be that kind of day for him where he's going to have to move and make plays with his feet to keep himself alive.
And Elias Cloy, you saw him there tackle the defensive, or the nose guard, I should say, right in front of him. 6'5", 280-pound redshirt freshman from Georgia Tech. Usually Jabari Stanley listed as the starting center, but it looks like Cloy has been in for the start of this one and moving. We've seen a couple penalties on the young freshman who's having to battle against some bigger bodies up front, including, looks like Marquez Casey, who's in front of him now. Quick little RPO, pass incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and 16 now for Alabama A&M.
I mean, you're already seeing the benefits of the push that Austin Peay's getting up front. Brown not feeling like he has any time hurried that throw. It was an easy throw to make. He had his man. He rushed it.
So 3rd down and 16. We'll see if the Governors bring the pressure. It looks like they have 6 players ready to blitz from the line, and they're going to bring a defensive back. Quick screen outside and tiptoeing down the sideline. Only about a gain of about 7. They needed a lot more. That'll bring up 4th down and long for the Bulldogs.
There just aren't many plays for 4th and 16, or 3rd and 16.
There's really not. It's usually a screen pass like we saw there. Just get that out quick. Again, a good read by Brown. You have to give him the credit. He saw the blitz off the outside, knew that receiver was left open off the blitz, and swung it as fast as possible towards the Governor's bench. But good coverage by the safeties come out, and that's going to bring McCready, who kicks and punts for this team, to send this one away. And it is a scoring sky-high punt. Copeland's going to field it from about the 15. And again, making some moves. Has an open lane in front of him. Cuts back to his left. Can he beat the man in front of him? He's got more room at the 30. Has to cut back around at the 20. Steps at the 10. Cuts back in. Ramon Copeland Jr. 85 yards and a touchdown on a punt return.
85 yards in the scoreline, but probably 135 from all. He cuts up the right sideline, comes all the way back or down the left, and finally makes it into the end zone.
Ramon Copeland Jr., watch him dance. Has a man in front of him. Good blocking in front. Governors making sure they're not behind anyone either to get a flag call. There was the cut back around you mentioned. And again, just able to step back around. That's a good block, keeping the helmet in front. and Ramon Copeland Jr. finds his way into the end zone yet again. So Smith will come back out to attempt another extra point. And this one, like the others, through the uprights and good. Austin Peay leading 24-3, courtesy of an 85-yard punt return touchdown. Looks like we do have flags down, but we will send this one to a break. We have more coming at you here on ESPN+. Always love to see my guy Jay Bailey's name up there. I get to coach with Jay now. He was one of my coaches when I was in high school football as well. So love to see Jay up there. Ramon Copeland Jr. maybe one day stays around, be a governor. We'll see his number up there hopefully in the future. But we had players to watch for Austin Peay, and I have a sneaky suspicion we may see Ramon Copeland Jr.'s name on the players to watch.
Yeah, Ramon Copeland, I feel pretty good about calling that one earlier this week. A guy that's just been everywhere so far today. I mean, we're barely 10 minutes into this when already 2 scores. Now on the defensive side, Ellis Jr., a guy who last week was all over the place. Spent a lot of time in the backfield at Central Arkansas, making stops behind the line of scrimmage, forcing good things to happen for
Number
the Govs.
22 for Austin Peay has changed his number to 38. Number 22 for Austin Peay has changed his number to 38.
That should be a defensive change, not a special teams change, because the kicker, Carson Smith, is still wearing number 22, so it looks like Trevor Hardy will now be number 38 for Austin Peay defensively. Try to keep that in mind as we move forward here. Ellis Jr., product of the Hendersonville Commandos, Hendersonville, Tennessee native. As we see Smith's kick, a little bit of a squib, bounces. Let's see if it's returnable, dances, and that will be a touchback. So that one could have been a good fielded ball by Miles Parker. He thought that was going to go out of play, but Carson Smith, still a touchback in the books.
Yeah, off the boot. It kind of looked like it was headed towards the sideline, but got a great roll for the Governors.
So now Austin Peay steps out on defense. Avion Smith will come back in at quarterback for Alabama A&M from his own 25. Again, saw the fumble earlier that led to a scoop and score for Austin Peay. It was their second score of the game. Jesse Johnson, the third, was able to get that one, and now he'll add a touchdown to his season totals. Quick screen pass out. It's caught. Good move there, and caught by Jacoby Hewitt, the senior from Memphis, Tennessee. And Hewitt was a first-team SWAC, all preseason team member as well.
First-team preseason all SWAC. Also Black College Football Player of the Year watch list as well. But right there, no support on the outside. I mean, it's going to be hard to make 5 guys miss in space.
So Smith here, gain of 5, about maybe a gain of 6, hands off up the middle, quickly tackled by a host of Governors, is number 26, Ryan Morrow.
And if you're Alabama A&M, you just got to string something together. You just got to get your defense off the field for a second, give everybody an opportunity to catch their breath.
So 3rd down and about 1 here, as Smith will yell out the play to his offensive lineman. Govs will bring the pressure, it looks like, now back off. Again, the hard count, trying to get Austin Peay to jump. Govs reset here. Fake the handoff. Now they'll run option to the left. That'll be enough for the 1st down and more, as Morrow will get out of play, but a good little speed option left to try to take away from the blitzing linebackers of Austin Peay.
And that could be an element of Cornelius Brown's game as well. He had 4 carries for 56 yards a week ago. Or, excuse me, Avion Smith, who had 6 for 46 and a score a week ago. But it's an element that the Govs are going to try to limit.
Well, the ball wasn't snapped. Everybody else jumped for the offensive line.
Offense, the entire offensive line. 5-yard penalty.
Love that one.
Let's go 1st down.
That's a perfect call. The entire offensive line, absolutely. Don't give it on anybody.
Unhappy with his offensive line right now.
He led his young, and again, we talked about the redshirt freshman Elias Cloy, who's in this game. Jabari Stanley usually listed as the starter. Cloy's in for this one. And again, you have a young freshman that you're having to try to get him on the same page, and a quarterback who's usually listed as a backup as well. Quick out route to Hewitt. It's caught for about a gain of 4. Should bring up 2nd down and 6. And I should say it was about a gain of 9. It was just so far backed up from the false start.
And it's not just Chloe on that offensive line either. You know, Cameron Williams, who was a preseason all-SWAC for Alabama A&M, has not played so far this season. So the Bulldogs down multiple men on that offensive line.
They will bring in their big fullback, Kobe Brown. He's a tight end, but he is going to make some man miss. He gets the first assignment up the middle to go tackle the linebacker, as we'll see about a gain of 4 here for Smith on the keeper.
And just keeping it into manageable down and distance here on 3rd down. It's going to be the name of the game for Alabama A&M. It's just manageable, repeatable football. The Govs have done a great job of putting them in terrible down and distances up to this point.
Looks like 3rd and 5 here for Avion Smith. So he'll go 4 receiver split. And again, just trying to draw this defense a little bit if they can get him with that hard count before stepping back in, getting the play, and we'll see a timeout called here by Alabama A&M. They're going to want to look at this one to see
their first charged.
What they can bring here. See maybe what the new play call may be. Didn't like what the Governors did on the adjustment.
Yeah, got the formation, got the look from Austin Peay. Now take it back to the sideline. Is there anything we'd like to change, anything we'd like to do differently?
So far, Austin Peay leading 24-3 here in the first with 1:48. We've seen a couple scores for the Governors. This was the opening interception that was caught. And then how about this one? Ramon Copeland Jr. again knew how to apparate, it looked like, and just appear into a location. Catches the first touchdown for the Governors. Then the scoop and score by Jesse Johnson III. Able to take that one in. And then who can talk about the electrifying play by Ramon Copeland Jr. as he was able to scurry 85 yards and get the Governors up 24-3. As we get set here now, Smith again calling for this one. Again, checks back over. So he has Hewitt to his right. So multiple receivers there, then 2 to his left. Back to pass. Now it's going to be a quick little shovel out. I don't know if that was designed option or not. Governors almost still gave up the first down. I know they raced in to try to get the tackle there, did Austin Peay. But almost a chance as Keith Gallman Jr. was the first one to push out the running back.
They're putting him back. Looks like they had him stepping out earlier.
And then maybe that was just an angle we couldn't see I thought he was closer to the first down
I
on
thought
that.
this was going to be kind of an interesting choice here for Alabama A&M on fourth and very short near midfield, but looks like they might be making that choice anyway.
Austin Peay, their first charge, timeout and a half. So 32nd.
So now Austin Peay tries to answer here. Fourth down and about 4 for Alabama A&M. The Governors want to try to get their defense ready as they saw the offense for Alabama A&M stay out there. And again, first quarter, you're down 24-3. If you were the head coach here, your options may be, hey, we got to try to get something, get some momentum here. And for Connell Maynor, in his 7th season, he's trying to get some sort of, I guess, just something going offensively.
Well, they've sent the punt unit out now, but you can't really disagree with the thought necessarily. You're down 24-3. The last time you punted to Ramon Copeland Jr., you took it back to the house anyway. So you're not exactly left with great choices.
So Maynor was trying to understand where his running back stepped out. That's what he was having the conversation with the officiating crew. Officials said no, it's still where the ball is, and now it's leading to a punt. Again, this one, we'll see Copeland Jr. let this one bounce, and he's smart on that decision as that one goes into the end zone for a touchback. And now Austin Peay's offense will come out at the 25 with 1:08 remaining here in the first quarter and up 24-3.
Rare that you're hoping for the touchback, but clearly kicking it over the head of Ramon Copeland Jr. is your best choice because option 2 is giving him the ball with some blockers.
You either have to try to get that one as far up into the air as possible so he has to call for the fair catch, or, as you mentioned, send it as deep as you possibly can. Try to make sure he can't get a return.
Ethan, without looking, guess how many yards the Govs have needed to get to this 24-3 lead? Total yards.
87.
27.
Wow. I was well off. I did not look. I mean, obviously.
This is the first long field Austin Peay has had to deal with so far tonight.
So Austin Smith will be backed up even more. Got a loss of about 6 on that play. Looked like it was an RPO. And again, you can watch it here. Great read by the defensive end for, Ellis, I believe. Jamarian Ellis, who comes in and reads that perfectly on the RPO. Smith more than likely would have liked to have that one back and give it to his running back so he doesn't have to take the shot there from Ellis. Again, back to pass, quick, swings that one out to Barnes. Barnes has a block in front of him, making moves, just can't get any more. It's about to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard less, so it should bring up 3rd down and 11 for Austin Peay.
Looked like he slipped and lost his footing just a bit trying to make a cut. Otherwise might have had something there as well.
So 3rd down and 11 coming for the Governors, and they're going to let this one roll to the end of the first quarter. And that is where we'll see Austin Peay when we come back. Austin Peay leading 24-3. A couple big scores, a couple big plays by the Governors. And they have a 24-3 advantage as we head to the second quarter. You're watching Austin Peay football on ESPN+. And welcome back to Clarksville. Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M 24-3. As the Governor's offense quickly back out, Austin Smith looking at 3rd down and 11. As our red hat gets off the field there, we can finally get back to a little bit of action here.
Fastest slow guy in college football, the red hat from the timeouts.
Again, Austin Peay looking at 3rd down and 11 as Smith will check to the side, shifts his running back over now to his right, has 3 receivers to his left, quickly looks, drop back to pass. He's got time. Thought he had Barnes, almost ends up throwing that one away to the defender, Anthony Fieldings, and that's going to bring out the punting unit for Austin Peay.
Yeah, it looks like Barnes did a stop where he was supposed to do a cut. A little bit of miscommunication between him and Smith. So far, that would be probably about the only blemish for the day for the Govs.
I would say so, as the punter comes out for the first time. This is Staldman, the redshirt senior, I should say, who steps out for his first punt for the Governors this afternoon.
Averaging nearly 43 on 19 attempts so far through 3 games.
Staldman, the former Pitt State Gorilla, kicks this one, and it's going to get a good bounce. Governor's able to chase it down, and that is a very good bounce as it rolls all the way to the Governor's 19. And that'll be where Alabama A&M takes over. And we talked about the previous games leading up to this point. Alabama A&M coming off a win against Georgetown. Before that, played against Kentucky State. Won that game 49-7. But unfortunately, they started their season off with a 73-3 loss to Auburn. Then you go back to last year. Took on Mississippi Valley State, had that win. Lost to Bethune-Cookman 31-14. Last season, that's how they ended last year. But a start this year, again, 2 wins back-to-back. They're on a 2-game winning streak as we see a quick snap. Handoff goes to Eglin. Smith stays in this, and Eglin fighting as Hunter finally is able to bring him down after a gain of about 3.
Govs swarming to the football right now. Great pursuit by Austin Peay. You can see that they are not wanting to relinquish any part of this lead. There's been no let up on the part of this defense.
So again, Eglin, who came in as the leading rusher for Alabama A&M, entered today's game, 37 carries, 193 yards, and a touchdown. Still trying to get his footing here as Smith now. How about the quick flick reverse? This is going to be Welch. Welch has some room. He's at the 30, 35, 40, hurdles a man, but it is a saving tackle for the Governors as Welch is brought down at the 44. A great foot grab, but check this out one more time on the pitch.
Yeah, it looked like Mike Evans went low and just got enough of him to bring him down.
So Smith tries to get back out. The official stopping it for a second as Welch is limping on the side. Quick throw to the receiver on the side. Gain of about 4 on the quick throw to Keenan Hambrick. That's his first catch of the afternoon for Hambrick.
And Hambrick, 6'4", 205. He's the guy that's really going to have to step up with Duke Miller's sideline for this game. Had a 56-yard catch at Auburn in that season opener for Alabama A&M.
So now the speed. A little bit of a slowdown as Smith is flush from the pocket. Heaves this one deep, no one there except for maybe the dance team to field that one for Austin Peay. Might be the cheer team. Check over
I think that's the dance team, but I don't think they're eligible receivers. I'd have to go back and check the rule book on that one, though.
If we're wrong, we'll get yelled at. No worries. As we look at 3rd down now and 6 for Alabama A&M. And Smith. A little fortuitous tonight. Both quarterbacks in for these teams named Smith. That helps us out a little bit.
Yeah, that really makes it simple.
As Smith now calls for it. Drops back to pass again. 3rd down and 6. Govs are there. That means that their screen was there. They get it to the big tight end. And the tight end has the first down. No, he's stopped. A big saving tackle by Jaden Lyles brings up 4th down and 1.
Jaden Lyles comes all the way across the formation to make that stop. And now, I mean, we're back to this. I don't even think it's a decision anymore for Alabama A&M. You get into this position, you're going for it.
Dion Nelson Jr., 6'5", 230 pounds. full head of steam, and Jaden Lyles, who's a much smaller defender, not only does he tackle him, but he tackles him and prevents him from stretching for a first down, as that now brings up 4th down and 1 again here for Alabama A&M. They will go for it. Quarterback goes, he's going to keep it. Austin Peay's there. I don't think he has it. I think the Governors get the stop. They do. And the Governors force the stop. Austin Peay will take over from the 47-yard line.
Right idea, but what you can't have in that situation, if you're Alabama A&M, is you can't have your quarterback dancing behind the line when you just need that yard. You've got to move forward.
We'll be back with Austin Peay's offense on ESPN+.
Over the years, we've handed out some pretty large checks, but none have been bigger than the ones we've paid to the order of the students in the great state we call home. The Tennessee Lottery, proud to have raised more than $7.5 billion for education. Now that's some game-changing, life-changing fun.
At Coleman Tractor, we're more than just a dealership. We're a place where families come together, where smiles are shared, and where dreams take root. Whether you're searching for a new Kubota tractor, parts, or dropping off your tractor for maintenance, our team goes the extra mile to ensure you have what you need. From household tasks to the toughest jobs, our lineup of Kubotas at Coleman Tractor are with you every step of the way. We're working hard to keep you working.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field.
And in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss
and being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the
United Athletic Conference.
And welcome back to Clarksville, Tennessee, in this brutal Governor's defense. Coming down, trying to run the option. Good move originally, but that defense has been swallowing up the run. Take one more look at it.
Austin Peay has done a great job of containing all day. Nothing getting free for Alabama A&M along the offensive line.
So Austin Peay, as we'll finally get the call into play here, this is Smith, who's had a fairly good game as well. Big handoff there. There's Wright. Wright's going to break free. Lavelle Wright, could he go all the way? Yes, he will. Lavelle Wright finds the end zone for the Governors. His first score of the season, and Austin Peay answers immediately after that big stop on 4th down.
Lavelle Wright just hits the crease, hits the afterburners, and is gone. Untouched there. It's all going Austin Peay's way right now.
Lavelle Wright takes the counter. Has a lane.
Number 42 for Austin Peay has switched jersey numbers to 50. Number 42 has switched jersey numbers to 50.
And Lavelle Wright says good night all the way to the end zone.
And, you know, for Austin Peay, after the first 3 games that they've had, nice to just get out and see things working like you envision them working on the field.
Smith's kick is good. It's a 53-yard score, and Austin Peay's up 31-3 on ESPN+. about a beautiful sky tonight here in Clarksville. You don't get a lot of these. It's still a little warm, but that's a pretty sight, and it's a pretty sight for Governors fans because they're up 31-3. And you take a look at these last couple of games. Again, the 3 games just starting off. Technically, you go back last year, it's 4 straight losses. One of those, though, you got to say, Chattanooga, that was a playoff game, and it was a great one. That Central Arkansas game, that was the clincher for the UAC championship in the first year of the UAC for the Governors. So trying to get back to that trend, trying to get back to the winning ways. The Governors, 3 straight championships in the conference. They're trying to make sure that this year, slow start, they need some things to fall their way, but if they can play with this type of intensity the rest of the way, you may have to keep the Governors' names alive.
Just got to start by getting back in the win column. The guys well on their way tonight.
They're up 31-3. Touchback there from Smith, and that's going to bring back out this Alabama A&M offense. Saw a big huddle out here. I thought maybe they were sending us to break again. It looked weird. All the offensive players are on the field. Normally it's just your offensive group, but everybody was out there. As Smith will continue to stay in this game at quarterback, Cornelius Brown, we see him in front of us from our broadcast location on the side. He's near the offensive coach.
And I'm sure they'll go back and forth as the night goes along, but I think the offense has been just a little bit smoother with Smith so far.
Handoff's going to go to Eglin, and Eglin looked like he was dead to rights in the backfield, but ends up squeezing out for about 3. Bring up second down at about 7 for Alabama A&M. Hunter is the one who ends up making the tackle.
Eglin's running hard, but he's just finding no holes right now in this Governor defense. Seven carries for, I believe, 13 yards now. Still most of it on that little 9-yard scamper in the first quarter. Just nothing doing in the run game so far for Alabama A&M.
Back to pass is Smith. He's going to roll to his right now. He throws that one in the ground. Hunter had everyone covered on that one in the middle area. The defensive back's doing a great job for Austin Peay, taking away the deep threat. That brings up 3rd down and 8 now for Alabama A&M. And a good sign for the Bulldogs. Welch comes back in. We saw him come up a little lame earlier on that quick little pass that he had that got a 1st down when he was tackled kind of mid-jump. He's back in here, so a good sign for the Bulldogs. Welch has been electrifying as well when he touches the football here.
But now what you're seeing here in 3rd and 8, the Governors are going to have the opportunity to pin their ears back, send people off the edges.
Back to pass is Smith. Gets a block, swings that one, intercepted! It's Johnson, the 3rd for the interception, the 2nd by this Governors defense.
Boy, the guys wearing number 1 for the Govs tonight are just having them a game. Jesse Johnson with a pick to go with his fumble recovery for a touchdown. Vermont Copeland already with 2 scores. The number 1s are sure playing like it tonight for the Govs.
So the last time the Governors had the interception, we'll watch it again here. Just take a look at Johnson. He knows that out route's coming back to him. And he steps up, and one of the issues you find and that you try to teach as a coach is you never want 2 receivers near the same area. It allows your safeties in your corners to step up and take away either threat, and that's what happens there. No one was open, and the corner who was guarding the outside receiver sees, oh, looky, I can step in front of it, and looky led to, I got the cookie there.
Yeah, and both quarterbacks for Alabama A&M not doing a great job of looking off their man. I mean, stare down on both of those picks. Going to have to do something different.
Well, this one may be on Austin Peay. I never saw the ball get snapped.
Full start. Offense, the entire offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Easy call.
Smith looked as confused as anybody when everybody moved, but the ball didn't hit his hands.
Well, they put Ramon Copeland Jr. in motion, and then the entire offensive line minus the center pulled to the left. So I'm going to say...
Telegraph that one ever so slightly.
On a hunch, that was probably going to be a swing pass to Copeland Jr. So now Smith comes back out. He's just going to try to hand this off. No, it's a quick little out route. Good pitch and catch between that Smith to Bowen Sims. And it'll be a gain of about 4 here, so it should be 2nd down and 6. Actually, it would have been a gain of about 9, so 2nd down and 6 here.
And Malik Bowen Sims is a guy that I've been watching very closely these first few weeks. I'm expecting him to have a big, big day at some point in the very near future. He is working hard. He's getting open. It's going to be a big Malik Bowen-Sims game sometime soon.
Ramon Copeland Jr., the quick out. Smith is gobbled up immediately. Ellis is there for another sack, and that's a huge loss on second down. Governors now backed up, third down, and about 16. Take a look at it again. Smith, quick option was go to Copeland Jr., holds it just a bit too long. And now that is the 16th sack given up by this Governors offensive line this season.
And the Bulldogs not doing anything particularly fancy when they're getting pushed. They're just getting into the backfield very, very quickly. I mean, it's just snap, step, and bang. All 3 sacks so far for Alabama A&M.
Smith now buying time. How about Austin Smith? This time has the corner. Cuts back inside. Linebackers there to sniff it away and make the tackle. Should bring up fourth down and about 8 here. Good tackle and a good saving tackle there by this defensive unit, number 52, Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright, a freshman, I believe, on this squad he is a freshman from Birmingham, Alabama.
From Ramsey High School, home of former Governors Cordell Jackson and Benico Harley. So some good athletes come out of there.
That is true. We've seen some very talented athletes that have found their way to Austin Peay, and now we see young Jalen Wright. Field goal opportunity here. About a 46-yarder from Smith. And it is no good. So Smith misses that one. And that will bring us to a break here. Austin Peay still leading 31-3. We have more action coming to you here on ESPN+.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field.
And in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are
the United Athletic Conference.
We want to say thank you to all of our customers.
Choose from one of the largest selections in the state of Tennessee during the end of summer sales event at Matthews Nissan in Clarksville. New kicks, only $299 per month. $10,000 off the MSRP on a new Armada. $11,000 off the MSRP or 0% APR for 60 months on a new Titan. And get a lifetime warranty and award-winning service.
Get big savings at MatthewsNissan.com.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
Hi, Ghost fans. I'm Ryan Harper, your locally trusted realtor with Byers & Harvey and a former Austin Peay student athlete. Proudly born and raised in Stashville, I know the area from Sango to Fort Kemp. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your property, I'm here to help every step of the way. Give me a call today, and as always, let's go Peay.
And welcome back to Clarksville. Austin Peay, Alabama A&M in action here. And how about this? We take a look at Austin Peay. Little program started back in 1930. 9-3 just a season ago. Made the 2019 FBS quarterfinal, the deepest run in program history. That's a great group. Colby Wilson, you and I both alum of Austin Peay. We've been able to see a lot of these programs have some success, including last year's team. Made it to the first round. As a quick little handoff is going to gain about 6 on first down.
It is a far, far cry from where it was, and I am so grateful to be alive to see an Austin Peay football program that's not just pretty good, but has legitimate expectations of being really, really good and really, really talented.
So Brown's back in the game and finds a quick little, maybe a slant there by Herring, Devin Herring, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, and that's going to be a big pickup and a first down. And now finding a little bit of a groove here is Alabama A&M. They've definitely needed it here in this one. They're finally across the 50.
And things happen with Brown that don't with Smith because Smith just doesn't have the arm strength, so they're able to take a few more shots. Brown just has more zip on his ball and can hit those routes. I mean, everything you see with Smith is floated.
Quick little handoff there to Morrow. Ryan Morrow will gain about 1 on the play. Cornelius Brown, the transfer from UT Martin, joining former teammate Diane Nelson Jr. as well, the tight end. We've seen him have a couple plays. As it looks like Elias Cloy is having a little bit of a limp there. He's needing a moment here. That's why we're not seeing any play. And now we're going to see the substitution come in for Cloy. He just sent the sub back off. They've tried to get somebody for him, and he said, get off the field. So the center staying in, the redshirt freshman saying, I'm tough, let's go. Quick little pass out to Welch. It is in front of Brown, so it is an incomplete pass. Great job, though, by the Governor's defense to try to get on that ball, thinking it may have been lateral.
And if Cloy is compromised, it really puts Alabama A&M behind the A-ball because we have not seen Jabari Stanley, their regular starting center, tonight. And so if they have to go to their third-string guy to snap the ball, that's really going to interrupt the timing of an offense that's already had some issues with timing this evening.
Thomas Durasol was the man who was running out to make that snap. He did not have to stay in. So 3rd down and about 8 here for Alabama A&M. Second quarter in Clarksville. Brown fires one in. Good job there by the defender. It looks like that was Gallman who comes over and jars that one loose. That brings up 4th down now and 8. Actually, looks like it was Johnson. So Jesse Johnson continuing his wreaking havoc on Alabama A&M's defense.
And Hambrick had that one in the hands, and Jesse Johnson just made a play, jarred the ball loose. Been a great night for him at that cornerback spot.
So Jesse Johnson, the third, had a fumble recovery and for a touchdown, I should say, an interception, now knocking one loose on 3rd down. And just the quick QB punt. And this one takes a good bounce and will roll back in. How about that? It takes a good bounce that leads to a bad bounce and then rolls back to the 5.
And you know, the thing about that is usually when you see that quick kick, you kind of get a little hitch back by the quarterback that sort of lets you know it's coming. He did it with the pocket collapsing around him.
He said, let's just get rid of this bad boy as fast as possible. And that's going to lead to Austin Peay having 1st down and 10 from their own 5 and 7:12 here on the clock. And again, the Governors, they've had a fast strike offense all night. So far in this one, we've seen some really, really big plays for the Governors, including their last drive that had a 53-yard touchdown run by Lavelle Wright to get the Governors at 31-3. Last time out, they did miss a 43-yard field goal, I should say. As we see the quick handoff here yet again, and it's only going to gain about 1 for the Governors as O'Shawn Allison tries to be like his buddy Lavelle Wright. He wanted to take that little counter and see if he can make something happen.
And, you know, I'm never going to say no to, you know, a 90-plus yard house call, but what you'd love to see here from the Govs is just a sustained 10, 12, 15 play drive, just eat up chunks of time and chunks of yardage.
So Smith here from the 6, 2nd down and 9, another handoff. Governors will gain maybe another yard there, puts him about the 7. So another carry by Allison there. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for Austin Peay.
And you kind of like seeing a 3rd and distance because this has been a struggle spot for the Govs all year. But now with a 4-touchdown lead, you're feeling comfortable. You've had the offense really doing some good things. You start to have a little bit more confidence in these situations than you probably have before.
So 3rd down and 8, empty spread here for Austin Peay and Austin Smith. Now he's going to bring Allison back in the backfield. He's going to move his tight end over, and that will lead to a flag. I thought maybe a timeout, but we'll get a flag here.
I think they did get the timeout.
Austin Peay, their second charged, the 30-second timeout.
Well, Austin Peay able to get that timeout before the play clock expires. Looked like that was what the goal was there. So 31-3 our score here in Clarksville. Ethan Schmidt, Colby Wilson on the call here for you today. Colby, you may be good luck, man. Last home game didn't go as well for Austin Peay. You've come into the booth with us here, and now it's Austin Peay up 31-3.
Yeah, I'll take some credit for that. That's okay. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell anybody you want to about that.
Let's take a look at some of the things that we've seen coming in for Alabama A&M, a little bit about the university, Alabama A&M. Their first season back in 1912, 14 conference championships, including 2 in the SWAC, and they won the Black College Football National Championship back in 2020. It's only one in their program's history. But again, that is Coach Boehner and company. That's his group. He's been here for 7 seasons. He's able to win that. He's had a couple of those SWAC championships as well. So he does have a great program. Just kind of running into, I think, a must-win kind of moment for Austin Peay early in the season. And so far the Govs have been on top of this one. They won the previous meeting. We mentioned that as well. Won that one back in 2022. As Smith's going to take this quickly. He gets a little bit of pressure, now gets out of the pocket, throws this one, has a man across the middle of the field. That looks like it's Barnes who slips. He should have the first down. No, it was Allison out of the backfield. Jaden Barnes is going to say, I wish I was kind of as big as O'Shawn Allison, but take a look at this. Just a great little run to the flat. The defender comes over instead of trying to guard Allison to take away the quarterback on the run. Now Allison has a first down, and the Governors, with time ticking away, will have time to try to drain this clock as much as they need here before halftime. Another snap, handoff is going to go to the running back. Still barreling forward, should be about a gain of about 6 for Austin Peay. And Allison now, the big man. He's going to be the workhorse here on this drive for the Governors as it's 2nd down and 4. Quickly takes the handoff again. Allison has a crease again in the defense. That's going to be a big carry for O'Shawn Allison. And number 0 has another first down for the Governors.
And now we're starting to see some of the effects of this consistent being on the field for Alabama A&M, starting to eat away at this offense or at this defensive front for the Bulldogs.
Another big run for O'Shawn Allison, or at least a hard run there for O'Shawn Allison. Gain of about 5. Should bring up 2nd down and 5. And again, the clock is ticking. Austin Peay has continued, though. We thought maybe they would try to sustain the drive here, but they're kind of feeling the groove. They feel that momentum. You can't slow down that momentum. So 2nd down and 7, I should say, for the Governors. Quick pitch out. Trying to find some lane to the outside, and tackled for about a loss of 1 is Wright. Had the big 53-yard touchdown earlier. That brings up 3rd down and 8 for Austin Peay.
And because the Govs have had so much success, even when they get into these 3rd and longs, the playbook's not closed to them. It's not just, okay, we've got to find Ramon Copeland, or we've got to find Jaden Barnes, and we've got to get it to our playmakers in space. They have plenty of options here on 3rd and distance that they just haven't had in the first few games.
Copeland goes in motion here on 3rd down and 7. Smith airs this one out. He's got Barnes racing down in front of a defender. Jaden Barnes, does he catch it? He does. Jaden Barnes skies up, and it's a huge first down from Smith to Barnes. And now Austin Peay quickly going to get on the ball to try to make sure this one is, there's no chance to review this one. As the sub comes in for, now we'll get the whistles. It's a timeout for Alabama A&M.
Timeout. Alabama A&M, their second charged. 30-second timeout.
So Austin Peay, you're needing a big one on 3rd down and 7. Well, how about you flip the field with the catch there and get all the way down 5 yards from the red zone on a Smith to Barnes completion. And Jaden Barnes is one of those players. He's a leading receiver last week against Central Arkansas. He was kind of the lone bright spot really for the Governors, and he has been that guy for the Governors. So let's take a look at this one again and just kind of watch Jaden Barnes as he catches this one on the sidelines. Again, Smith airing this one out. Go ball. Barnes. 1. That's all you need.
Yep. He has such good body control with the ball in the air. You saw it last week in that touchdown reception against Central Arkansas, falling through the end zone, 2 guys draped all over him, one-handed, and still secures the touchdown reception.
Fantastic play by number 10. Not only just watch that, the foot down, that one's in, has possession. Great
That's a guy
catch
that plays
by
a
Jaden
lot
Barnes.
bigger than 5'8".
Absolutely, and he'll go up there and win that one, as we saw there. Handoff's going to go to Wright. Wright changes direction. He'll gain about 1 before he's gobbled up by that defensive line.
And Cortez Andrews sealed off that point of escape that time for Lavelle Wright. Andrews still the catalyst for Alabama A&M defensively.
They'll say no gain there for Wright, so still be 2nd down and 10 as the clock continues to tick away here in the second quarter. We'll have our 2-minute break.
Which is not a warning.
Correct. As the handoff's going to go. This is Lavelle Wright. Does he have another one in him? Lavelle Wright makes a man miss, and it's finally brought down at the 4-yard line. Lavelle Wright saw the end zone once more. Just brought down. And now the Governor's trying to hurry up again. They still have about 20 seconds before that 2-minute break. It's quick handoff. Goes right back to Lavelle Wright. Defense there, though, to gobble it up, and that'll be a stop and a loss of 2 now for Austin Peay. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal for the Governors, and they should let this one go to the 2-minute break, and they will do just that. Austin Peay in the red zone, trying to put up another score before the half. They lead 31-3 over Alabama A&M. We have more action coming to you here on ESPN+.
For being today's game sponsor.
Clarksville, Tennessee. Dance cam was just on. Unfortunately, they didn't have the camera on us. We actually won it, but someone else is walking away with a free gift card from Drake's. I'm sorry, Colby. That's one of the issues.
Okay.
You can't be out there anymore winning the gift cards anymore.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, one time actually, when I was a student, I won $200 because I was the only student that came to a game, and it had to go to a student.
Well, during that time, obviously, it wasn't a 31-3 style game that the Governors have. That's what we're looking at now from the 6-yard line for Austin Peay. 2nd and goal. Handoff's going to go to Wright again. Again, patiently spins off one tackle, and it is all the way to the red for Lavelle Wright. Touchdown number 2. He may win the dance cam tonight as well.
Lavelle Wright cut a nice move down there. Just hit the hole that was closed and bounced it outside. Easy 6.
Again, another counter for him. Spins off the tackle. The tackle was just a little bit too high, and he makes him pay with a huge stiff arm, and then lets everyone know Lavelle Wright has another one in this one. 2 scores now on the season, both coming tonight against Alabama A&M. Kick is up. It's good. And Austin Peay, they're up 38-3 against Alabama A&M. And the Governors, when you needed a win, when you needed to get back into the win column, break what we saw dating back to last season's a 4-game losing streak. To get to this point, sometimes you need that statement win and see your guys really clicking on all parts, offense, defense, special teams. And so far, through one half of play, this has been that way for the Govs.
Yeah, I think it was very easy to kind of lose sight of what this Austin Peay team could be based on the first 3 weeks of this season, because this is a team that came in with a rank, or not a ranking, but receiving votes coming into this season, and now the Govs are reminding people this is still that team.
Taking a look at the rushing leaders for tonight, well, we saw Lavelle Wright give him another touchdown on this one, as Lavelle Wright has been on there. That long 53-yard touchdown run was his first one of the night. Unfortunately for Alabama A&M, the receiver, Welch, is their leading rusher. They have been unable to get Eglin or any of the other running backs, Morrow, any type of run game in this one. We've seen spurts of some powerful runs, but nothing past that. Nothing long, couldn't really break free. The defensive line, I should say, for Austin Peay has been hard to get past. Katie Owens, Reeves, Barnes Vaughn, Knifley, Hood, McKinney, Casey Patterson. Give those guys a lot of credit, as Smith's kick will go out of the end zone, and that'll be another touchback for number 22.
So 18 carries, 57 yards for Alabama A&M on the ground so far, 3.2 per carry. Compare that with just Lavelle Wright, 7 for 80 and 2 scores, 11.4 yards per touch. Quality work if you can get it in the first half.
Number 22 for Austin Peay was number 38. 38 has changed his number to 22.
I believe that was a change back from earlier on special teams.
Yeah, Trevor Hardy is now back, I believe, at 22 is what that was saying. Brown's back in. Quick flick there, and has a good catch and reception, as finally the receiver, that's number 6, Hambrick, is brought out of bounds. The Governor's trying to make a stop there. Good quick throw, and you mentioned this. Brown has really good control. He has a laser arm. That's what he offers for this team when he's in.
And for Alabama A&M trying to put any points on the board here in this 2-minute drill, I mean, this is the guy you have to turn to.
Clock is stopped, as Hambrick was thrown out of play and did stop the clock there. So this is an empty look here for Brown. And again, all kinds of time. Finally throws that one back, shoulder of the running back. That is a dangerous ball. When the ball is behind you like that, and I know Welch put his arm up there to try to grab it, a lot of times one hand up leads to an interception. You don't swat that down a lot of times, you pop it up. Fortunately for Welch, the Governor's defenders, they were going for him, not the ball.
Yeah, if he'd caught it, that would have been his last step, because he had 2 guys draped all over him.
So now 2nd down and 10 from the 44. Here's Brown again. Again, looking for time. This time gobbled up in the backfield. Austin Peay's defense gets home.
He can look for time all he wants to, but right now he does not have any. The Governor's getting extraordinary push once again up front.
Marquez Casey, sack number 2 on the season, just fights through the defenders. Finally gets in there. Give Katie Owens an assist there as well. That'll end up being a half a sack for both of them. So 3rd down and 16 now. Approaching a minute left here before the half. This is Brown still in at quarterback. Needing that offensive line to hold here for him so he can get some sort of pass downfield and try to keep the hopes alive before the half of getting in the end zone. Had a man crossing, gets his man there. That's Hewitt, who's going to go out of bounds. And a good tackle there by Austin Peay. That one's brought down for the Governors. That was Bo Spearman who ends up making the tackle and pushing the receiver out of play. And now 4th down and about 7 leads to another punting situation.
And the Governors just swarming to the ball at every opportunity. That's the thing, is nobody's getting in space for Alabama A&M. Everybody, every completion is met immediately with a wall of Governors ready to make the stop.
Ramon Copeland Jr. back deep to return. This one's kicked well, and the fair catch will come up for Austin Peay. And Copeland Jr., he fields it at about the 13 as we have flags down now. We'll wait for the conference with the officials. This may back Austin Peay up with 44 seconds left before halftime.
Well, I think if you're the Governors here, you're probably pretty content to take this one on in the locker room, too.
During the kick, holding, return teams, number 21. That penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's going to make your special teams coordinator want to pull his hair out there on a holding on a fair catch.
Yeah, just no call for it. But, guys are understandably a little bit fired up right now. You got a 38-3 lead with halftime coming up. People are going to be feeling pretty good, feeling a little excited. Not excusing it, but understanding it.
Jake Nudo, the special teams coordinator, also coaches the strikers. That's a position in the defense for Austin Peay. So we'll have the Governors here with 44 seconds. And Austin Smith backed up to about the 7. Smith calls for it. He will pass here. Has his receiver, and it'll be caught for Austin Peay. Bowen Sims will catch that one. Now Governors hurrying up here, 2nd down and 1.
You got a timeout. May want to see what your 2-minute can do, your 1-minute can do. Try to get in field goal range. Just get some reps in these kinds of situations.
Well, the clock has to stop because of the first down. They end up saying it was a first down. That's why the clock stops. I thought it was 2nd and 1. The official's ruling, yes, he says it's 2nd down and 1. So the clock does not stop. Now it'll restart. Smith has a running back to his right, back to pass yet again. Defenders come in. This time, Smith will go down, and that's another sack by the big man, number 93 for this defense.
That's Dorian Wesley that time, the transfer from Toledo.
Now the Govs look at 3rd down and long, and they don't need to snap the ball because this one will take us all the way to the half as the Governors make their way out. And Colby, so far, so good for Austin Peay. The Governors, all things seem to be clicking for the Governors. They have a 38-3 lead here, and some of the big moments from this first half, Governors finding the end zone multiple times. They lead 38-3 here in Clarksville. We have halftime and more coming at you here on ESPN+. Welcome back to Austin Peay State University right here in the heart of Clarksville, Tennessee, where the Austin Peay Governors are currently leading at halftime against Alabama A&M 38-3. Ethan Schmidt, Colby Wilson on the call with you here this evening, seeing the Governors trying to get win number 1 on the season. Again, we talked a little bit about Austin Peay being in the UAC. They won the first ever UAC title a season ago. It's because it's a brand new conference and really brought in the members of the ASUN from a couple years ago before, or I guess after a lot of those big teams left, and then brought in some teams from the WAC as well. So you have this whole group here that's formed off of this. And again, it's one entity. The ASUN and the WAC came together. The original partnership starting there in 2021. And again, just amongst these teams, you have a huge caliber, 37 FCS playoff appearances. You see that only one of these teams get a chance to have that auto qualifier as well. So every game matters. You don't play everybody as well. That's a big part of this, is you don't always see every team in the UAC. But again, Austin Peay holding that one last year as the UAC champs, got that automatic qualifier, took on Chattanooga in the first round last year. It's been the competition level definitely tougher in the UAC for this Governors team, having to take on teams, and the travel schedule getting crazy as well, adding in teams in Utah and Texas.
Yeah, and this is a league that one bid, like you said, last year, but based on early returns this year, it's a league that could potentially be in line for getting multiple bids. So this is a really high-quality league. You've seen some good play out of Tarleton, out of Southern Utah, out of Abilene Christian, a really solid up-and-down league.
And speaking of the UAC, how about some news from around the UAC? Central Arkansas, they got the win against Austin Peay, but dropped a spot from number 7 to number 8 in the national polls. Tarleton State, Abilene Christian, both of them ranked in the current FCS standings. Tarleton there at 16, Abilene Christian at 19. And the only UAC game going on currently tonight is North Alabama against Tarleton State. Those two teams facing off as well. Let's take a look at the scoreboards from around there. You mentioned this to me. The state of Idaho having a good night against teams in the UAC. Idaho State beating Southern Utah currently. Idaho leading Abilene Christian. You see EKU with the win, currently leading Morehead State at half. Central Arkansas, big one right now over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 35-10. Tarleton State, North Alabama. We talk about the competition here in this conference. Only 7-6 at half between those two squads. Looking at the preseason polls, that's how we came in, our current UAC standings, I should say. Austin Peay, again, still looking not only for their first win on the season, but that first win in conference play. They'll get another chance next week against Southern Utah. Southern Utah, Tarleton State, both those teams still have yet to play. North Alabama and Utah Tech as well. But again, North Alabama and Southern Utah, both those teams currently in action. They're playing their first UAC battle in this one as well. UAC Players of the Week, well, as you would expect, you have Shanderick Powell there. He is a talented running back. Saw him have a great one against Austin Peay. Then Defensive Players of the Week and the Special Teams Player of the Week belonging to Abilene Christian. And the Freshman Player of the Week, North Alabama's Josh Anglin. He's currently in action. We mentioned the linebacker there for North Alabama taking on Tarleton State. But again, we've seen a lot of great talent in this area. We've seen a lot of great teams. Austin Peay's Jaden Lyle's been a Player of the Week as well through here. But taking a look at the top 10 in the FCS, the defending champs, South Dakota State, 2-1, sitting atop there. Boy, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Montana State, those are just teams that are so talented all year long. They battle each other. They face off against each other at some point. South Dakota, Southern Illinois as well in that conference. North Dakota in that conference. So we got a lot of it in this one where you see a lot of these teams in action. That's our look at our first break at halftime. We come back. We'll have more for you here in our halftime show. Stay with us. You're watching college football on ESPN+. back to Clarksville. Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M 38-3 here at the half. We're talking about these teams and looking at these institutions as learning programs as well. For Alabama A&M, it's a school about over 6,600 students. That's their biggest mark they've had. Stands for their focus at least, agricultural and mechanical. And how about this one? A fun fact for you there, the only HBCU with a forestry degree program. As for Austin Peay, located right here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Again, the Governors, the mascot here, founded in 1927. Currently in enrollment, 9,800. Again, state leaders and military-affiliated students and country's first registered apprenticeship for teaching as well. This weekend, we've got a couple more things coming up in this week upcoming at Austin Peay, including women's soccer. You'll hear me tomorrow. I'll be back for that one, and I'll be back for women's soccer against North Alabama. Heck, you'll hear me the rest of the week around campus here. Soccer again at home against EKU in North Alabama before the Govs come back home against Southern Utah. We have more action coming to you here at halftime here on ESPN+. Game in favor of the Governors, and it's been a lot of scoring for Austin Peay. We'll take a look at those highlights as the Governors have found great success early on in this one. The interception got things going by Sammy Anderson Jr. there. Austin Peay saw the field goal here. That's the lone points for this Alabama A&M squad. How about this one? You talked about this earlier. Ramon Copeland Jr. just kind of appears in. I don't know if it was delayed by him or what, but he's able to get into the end zone for the score for Austin Peay. That was the first touchdown for the Governors in this one. And then how about this one? A little bit of a fumble. It ends up being given to the center. We learned that through the break. And then again, Johnson Jr. able to return this one. Johnson III able to get that one. And probably the biggest play of this contest to date, even with all the other touchdowns. Ramon Copeland Jr.'s kick return touchdown here that went 85 yards for the Governors. And Austin Peay, again, they're leading 38-3. We want to take a look at those first half stats between the Governors and the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. Austin Peay kind of controlling all of the situations here. Passing, rushing, they have the leads. And actually, pass yards do go to Alabama A&M at 121. But total yards in favor of the Governors, Alabama A&M with a surprising lead in the time of possession. That's our look at our first half stats. We're going to get you back for kickoff here. Governors, they lead the Bulldogs 38-3 on ESPN+. At the half, Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M. Ethan Schmidt, Colby Wilson in the studio, in the booth here, I should say, as we get set for the second half of kickoff from Alabama A&M as I look over my shoulder and we come back to it. Colby, so far, so good for Austin Peay.
Yeah, I don't think you could have asked for anything better in the first half for the Governors. Just erasing some of the bad memories from the first 3 weeks of the season. Everything going right. Everything going according to plan for Austin Peay.
As for Alabama A&M, what do they have to do here to get something going in the second half?
I mean, it's difficult to say, you need to establish a run, you need to do this in the passing game. There have been so many times where Alabama A&M has had something get going, string together a couple of passes, put together a couple of nice runs, but it has been immediately countered by what Austin Peay has done defensively. It's tough to find answers for Alabama A&M on offense right now.
Well, squib kick trying to go towards the sideline. Austin Peay is going to field this. Good shimmy shake by the return man, still on his feet, and it's going to get down all the way to the 39-yard line. Good return for Austin Peay, number 28 for the Governors.
Like that was DJ Carter scooting a little bit, getting some kick return yards.
DJ Carter accepting the challenge there of the sky kick. It's actually a different kickoff man as well. That was number 31, Christian Silverstein, the freshman, who came in to kick the sky kick. Now Austin Peay comes back out on offense. Well, great drives there in the first half for the Governors.
And just solid in every phase of the game for Austin Peay in the first half. I mean, hit home runs, sustained drives. It was excellent work.
First handoff goes to Lavelle Wright. Wright's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Lavelle Wright.
That's another one of those home runs.
His third score, and Lavelle Wright is over 100 yards for the first time this season for Austin Peay. Take a look at it again. Lavelle Wright looked like Moses parting the Red Sea here. And he does what he's supposed to do with open field in front of him. Number 11 finds the end zone once more.
Yeah, and that's the thing on these home run plays for the Govs. It's not a matter of breaking a lot of tackles or having to make a lot of jukes. When Lavelle Wright's hit the hole, he's just been gone.
Lavelle Wright has yet to slow down. I think he's still running on the sideline at the moment. That's how much he was going, as this one's up through the uprights and good. And that'll give the Governors the 45-3 lead over Alabama A&M. How about one play offensively? I can do that math. I don't have to look at a scoring drive. That was one play, and it was 62 yards for a touchdown. The Governors already out with a 45-3 lead, and we'll have to see what Coach Jeff Ferris and company is going to want to do here. Do you keep a guy like Lavelle Wright in, or you start going to some of those younger backs that are on this Governors team? Got a couple of them here for Austin Peay. Corey Richardson, Caden Williams.
Cortland Simmons out of Davidson Academy down in Nashville.
Well, he'll have that decision a little bit later on as Smith will come out. Excuse me, not Smith. This will be, yes, it is. Carson Smith will come out to kick off once more for the Governors. He's had a lot of great touchbacks so far in this one. Perfect on PATs. Did miss one field goal, so 1 for 2 today on field goals. Another big booming kick. Welch goes underneath it, fields at about the 4. And here's Welch. Does he have a lane? He's got a little bit to the outside, breaks there. We'll have some daylight in front of him. This is Welch at the 40, brought down about the 39. Looks like they'll mark him back at about the 38 instead. So that'll be first down and 10 from the 38 for Alabama A&M.
So one thing that Alabama A&M might want to think about is getting Quadrion Welch the ball in space a little bit. I mean, he's been responsible for the 2 most positive plays they have had today.
Receivers flip sides for Alabama A&M. Jacoby Hewitt will come near side to us as Dion Nelson Jr. now the tight end will come over. Handoff's going to go to Eglin. Eglin will gain and get a little bit of a push there. Looks like he gained about 1. Let's bring up second down and 9.
And Eglin's a guy who, no matter the opponent this year, has been used to finding a little bit more room to run than what he has been granted this evening.
So Cornelius Brown stays in at quarterback here to start the second half. little bit of motion, trying to get some space here for Brown. Brown immediately met by the Governors, and it's going to be a sack for Austin Peay. Hosea Knifley Jr.
And back in 2022, when these two teams got together, Jose Knifley had a couple of tackles and a quarterback hurry. He has grown an awful lot as a player since then. Good to see him getting in behind the line and getting a sack tonight.
So 3rd down and 19 now. Alabama A&M goes trips to the right of the quarterback. Lone receiver singled out to the left. Back to pass. Brown now design quarterback draw. He's trying to find some space. He does have room to run. Does Brown near the Governor's sideline. He is finally knocked out of play. It looks like he's near about the original line of scrimmage is where they'll mark him. That'll bring up 4th down, and it looks like 10. So we're getting some notes here from our guy, Casey Krieger, upstairs. It's our first 3-touchdown rushing game since the man Mike DeLillo did it at homecoming against EKU just a year ago. That was a big comeback victory as well.
I believe that might have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago, 2022. My bad there. And a bonus fact that we got is Mike DeLillo is in the fort tonight. So that's probably what he likes to see, as Ramon Copeland Jr. will throw up the fair catch. And that should take us to a break here. Governors, they lead 45-3 over Alabama A&M. We have more action coming to you here in the third quarter on ESPN+.
Today's academic spotlight of the game. In appreciation of...
Over the years, we've handed out some pretty large checks, but none have been bigger than the ones we've paid to the order of the students in the great state we call home. The Tennessee Lottery, proud to have raised more than $7.5 billion for education. Now that's some game-changing, life-changing fun.
At Coleman Tractor, we're more than just a dealership. We're a place where families come together, where smiles are shared, and where dreams take root. Whether you're searching for a new Kubota tractor, parts, or dropping off your tractor for maintenance, our team goes the extra mile to ensure you have what you need. From household tasks to the toughest jobs, our lineup of Kubotas at Coleman Tractor are with you every step of the way. We're working hard to keep you working.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field.
And in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team. Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss
and being humble after a win. We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the United Athletic Conference.
And welcome back to Clarksville. Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M 45-3, and a big part of it's been Austin Smith. For Austin Peay, we've seen the big touchdown runs by Lavelle Wright as well, but looking at these two quarterbacks, Cornelius Brown, Austin Smith, they've had a lot of moments. Austin Smith just had the ability to find some guys like Ramon Copeland Jr. as another handoff goes for Austin Peay. Bouncing to the outside is Allison. Allison, big stiff arm before he's rode out of bounds after a gain of 9. Again, I mentioned these quarterbacks here. Cornelius Brown struggling a little bit to get something going for Alabama A&M. We've seen a couple completions that have looked good. Austin Smith has had some times. He's been sacked a couple times as well tonight. We know that with Austin Peay, that line trying to get something going, but Smith's going to wait here at 2nd down and about 3, and it looks like Allison didn't get the extra yard I gave him. And now he's met in the backfield and immediately thrown to the ground. Tackled there by Ellis. Another tackle for loss, and number 7 has been a bright spot for Alabama A&M.
Hey, I believe that's 4 stops behind the line now for Jamarion Ellis. Really a big bright spot this evening for the Bulldogs defense.
Came in with only 6 tackles on the season, had 4 last week. Did the redshirt sophomore from Eastman, Georgia. Now we're looking at 3rd down and about 5 for the Govs. Austin Smith's going to bring this one down, improvises, has a first down, and now will go out of bounds. Big first down and a big pickup for the Governors. Finally pushed out of bounds by number 36, Lynn Petway, redshirt freshman, playing free safety from Montgomery, Alabama.
And Alabama A&M brought pressure straight up the middle, and O'Shawn Allison sprung that play. He did a great job of picking up the blitz and allowing Austin Smith to step up and scramble.
So Austin Smith, Governors may try a shot here. They have Ramon Copeland Jr. singled up. Now they're going to send him. We saw this play maybe earlier. We did. Trying to get this little bit of a screen. Good blocking in front of him, but a great job defensively to come up and read that one. Again, we mentioned it. They got called for the offsides the last time. I think it might have worked a little bit better the last time when they ran it in the first half if it actually would have been able to go. This time, defense able to adjust.
Yeah, in the first half, it looked like Alabama A&M might have been caught a little bit flat-footed if that one had gone, but this time they sniffed it out from the beginning.
Gain of about 4 there, 2nd down and 6 for Austin Peay. 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom, and now they're going to send the tight end in motion. Bringing an extra blocker to get the backside. This is Allison. Allison will gain about 3 there, takes a big bump on the sidelines. Hit there by Miles Gilmore, freshman from Detroit, Michigan.
And you know O'Shawn Allison has seen Lavelle Wright hit those 3 big runs and been like, I want to get in on that. I want to break one of my own here.
And one of the things that you see the difference is Lavelle Wright is a very patient running back, so he waits a little bit more for that to develop, where O'Shawn Allison is trying to make sure that you know that you earned your tackle when you hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Smith's back to pass here on 3rd down and short. Finally gets a man open. It looks like that may have been Barnes. It was, and Jaden Barnes goes nowhere. Good open field tackle, and that'll lead to a punt for Austin Peay.
Not many times have the Govs had to call on Dominic Stallman so far this evening. And he has to be grateful for that because he got plenty of work in the first 3 games.
He did. 6'1", 174. Redshirt senior. Alabama A&M had a 12th man on the field. Finally got him off. As this one's a big booming kick. It's going to be up in the sky. Finally fielded. And then the Governors crash over to break there. And that's going to take us to break. Austin Peay leading 45-3 here in Clarksville. We're actually coming to you on ESPN Plus. Austin Peay. Governors leading 45-3 against Alabama A&M here in the third quarter, 8:53 remaining in this contest. And both these programs, a couple notable alumni. We'll talk a little bit about Alabama A&M. A couple big names that have played at Alabama A&M or been a student there. How about Robert Mathis, who played a long career with the Colts? John Stallworth, drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tank Dell actually started at Alabama A&M before transferring to Houston. And then how about the American Idol winner of Season 2, Ruben Stoddard? Made a joke earlier with our guy Ryan Pleckelman, who does the voice here in the fort. And he said, Clay Aiken won the hearts of America, but Ruben Stoddard won the ears of America, and that's why he won American Idol. So shout out some notable alums there as we see a quick sack to get things going here for the Governors. Well, they gave it to Sammy Anderson Jr. on the overtop. I gave Ryan that, but that's Bo Spearman. Bo Spearman comes in. Take a look at it again here. The linebackers' ears pinned back. No, it's a passing situation. A good stun around the outside from the Will linebacker, Bo Spearman, and number 6 will have a sack, and it's backed up now to the 1-yard line. Quick handoff, just trying to get some breathing room. No, it's a throw, and that is the man that you said should get a little bit more space, and that's Welch, and he has a big pickup there.
And that time, Brown got everybody on the Governor defense to bite. I would have thought for all the world that was going to be a run into the line to just try to get a little bit of space and a little bit of breathing room, but he faked out the entire defense there.
So third down and long here for Alabama A&M. Again, Cornelius Brown in at quarterback. We saw Avion Smith as well earlier. Now back to Brown here late, knowing that it's all passing pretty much from here on out, unless it's a draw or a design little run play. You'll see a lot of passes coming for Alabama A&M, and Cornelius Brown is running out of time. That is going to lead and need a timeout for Alabama A&M, and they will get it before the play clock expires.
Timeout, Alabama A&M. Their first charge to the half.
And it looks like we have a break here, so we'll step aside. Governors leading 45-3 on ESPN+.
Austin Peay student athlete. Proudly born and raised in Stashville, I know the area from Sango to Fort Campbell. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your property, I'm here to help every step of the way. Give me a call today, and as always, let's go PEAY.
There's a new deal in Stashville. City Forum and the Governors are partnering up to bring you the City Forum Family Zone. Looking for an unforgettable experience? Say goodbye to the stress of party planning and say hello to the City Forum. Go to thecityforum.com to see a wide range of attractions they offer. Looking for an affordable way to experience chiropractic care? The Joint Chiropractic has you covered. Right now, new patients can take advantage of our special offer for just...
We want to say thank you to all of our customers.
Choose from one of the largest selections in the state of Tennessee during the end of summer sales event at Matthews Nissan in Clarksville. New kicks, only $299 per month. $10,000 off the MSRP on a new Armada. $11,000 off the MSRP or 0% APR for 60 months on a new Titan. And get a lifetime warranty and award-winning service.
Get big savings at MatthewsNissan.com.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
Hi, Ghost fans. I'm Ryan Harper, your locally trusted realtor with Byers & Harvey and a former Austin Peay student athlete. Proudly born and raised in Stashville, I know the area from Sango to Fort Campbell. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your property, I'm here to help every step of the way. Give me a call today, and as always, let's go PEAY.
Welcome back to Clarksville. Austin Peay currently leading 45-3 against Alabama A&M, trying to get win number 1 of the season. And if you look at these teams so far, you see the score line. Austin Peay, big numbers, but really, it's a close game on everything. About 100 yards difference between total yards, but a big thing there, yards per play. Governors with about 4 extra yards there. Time of possession, though, currently leading there, Alabama A&M. The Govs have a little bit more on first downs, but Alabama A&M's been out on offense more than the Governors have. They've been able to run a few more plays. Govs have had a special teams touchdown. Ramon Copeland Jr. on the courtesy of that one. And also, Govs winning the turnover battle as well, as Brown is back to pass, slings that one. Defense comes over and denies that one.
It looked like that was Mike Evans sticking his head in there.
That's going to be another opportunity here to see the punter for Alabama A&M. Again, Brown back to pass, slings this one open, had his man, but just knocked out of the hands, and it was Mike Evans who comes over and makes that play. Ramon Copeland Jr. back to return the punt, standing on his own 43-yard line. Good booming punt. Takes this one from about the 41. Copeland Jr. working to the right. Now he's going to look back to his left. No, gets knocked out of bounds. And so the Governors take back over. First down and 10 from their 40, looks like their own 46. That's where the ball will be placed.
Tyjon Tate on the stop that time for Alabama A&M, and after Copeland got free on the previous punt return, absolutely not going to let him get any space along that sideline.
Governor's offense takes the field. Austin Smith still out there. Looks like Bowen Sims will be the receiver towards the bottom of our screen here.
I believe that's Caden Williams lined up beside Austin Smith.
It's new running back into the game for the Governors. And immediately the handoff goes to the back and should be about a gain of 8. Good carry there on the first carry of the game for Caden Williams.
On a night like this, everybody eats on that offense.
Well, you know, last year the Governors had Javon Jackson, who was such a talented running back, and Austin Peay came in, and Coach Jeff Ferris, not with Javon Jackson, doesn't have him, so he had to go out and find a lot of running backs he could bring in from the portal. We've seen 2 really good transfers in, and Lavelle Wright and O'Shawn Allison, and now Williams, who's a freshman, trying to make his name as well on this offensive unit.
Yeah, the guys behind Allison and Wright, younger guys fighting for carries against these older, more established players. It's a great opportunity for them to really prove what they can do, get on the field, get some reps, get some carries, and instill some confidence from that coaching staff.
Smith calls for it here. Now going to throw this one wide open down the sideline is his tight end. Unfortunately, throws it a little bit too high. Couldn't get his receiver over there, and I don't think that was Alec Pell that actually called. He got the shout out in the stadium.
Looks like that was Jackson Head who pulled that one in.
That was Jackson Head, number 89, the other backup tight end who's come in this one. It's a good snag by Head. Another handoff, good counter move, good spin by the young back to at least gain about 2. Caden Williams making some plays out here in his minutes here in the third quarter.
And not only is it great for Williams and guys like Jackson Head to get these reps, but they're getting it with some of the first-team guys as well. They're getting it with Smith under center. They're getting it with Barnes out wide. And that gives them opportunities to really be featured, because obviously Barnes is going to take a lot of the attention from the defense, but now it's on guys like Williams and like Head to make the most of their opportunities.
Handoff's going to go to Williams. He's going to bounce the outside. Now shows off the speed, finally brought down by Petway. You know, Jackson Head, a transfer in as well, came from Gardner-Webb in his sophomore season. As we see Austin Smith quickly going here, they're not going to get the the defensive lineman that was not off the field. That should have been a free play. Now there's a player on a knee, finally gets up for Alabama A&M. Williams does not have the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players in formation. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, I was waiting for that call. I thought it should have been a free play there because there was a couple players that didn't get down. Exactly, I didn't see a flag either. But my counting, seeing this, was that big defensive lineman, was still hustling to try to get off the field. So that's a first down for Austin Peay, knocking on the door, needing about 5 here. Find the end zone once more. Continuing to add to the most points scored in the Jeff Ferris era in the game. Handoff's going to go yet again. This is Williams barreling his way in there.
Number 25, Caden Williams with the carry.
Gets a couple. Now the Govs rush back up to the line yet again. Gained about 2. So we're looking at 2nd and goal from the 3. Handoff yet again to Williams. This time Williams will find the end zone. The freshman. The first score for Williams. And Austin Peay pushes the lead even more against Alabama A&M.
And just feeding the young player and just trusting him, hey, make something happen. This is your opportunity. This is your shot. Go out there and make the most of it. And he willed his way into the end zone.
Huge run for Caden Williams. Went right off the backside of Nate Lewis for that score. As the kick is up, and it is good. Austin Peay, 52-3 against Alabama A&M, courtesy of a 3-yard score from Williams with 4:10 remaining here in the third. And Colby Wilson, you talked about this. I think a lot of people were really judging the Governor's success off of a game against a team that was facing off for the ACC championship last year. A team like Southern Illinois, who's ranked in the top 10 of FCS, who's in one of the toughest conferences in FCS. Central Arkansas, who obviously had a vendetta against Austin Peay after last year as well, and a very tough Central Arkansas team. They're ranked in the top 10 for a reason.
Yeah,
coming into the season as well, we knew that.
Has 2 of the best offensive players in this league.
Absolutely, and not to mention a fantastic defensive line as well. I mean, we saw a lot from that team. They definitely rose to the occasion, but there was glimmers in both those games, and you could see really for Austin Peay, how could they put 4 quarters together, and finally we're starting to see doesn't matter where the score at in this game. You got to get those younger players those reps. That's how you build depth.
Yeah, this opportunity is great. I mean, it's great along both sides as well, because Alabama A&M is going to do the same thing. They've got young players that they want to develop and take in a year or two to be focal points of both sides of the ball for them. So just like the guys, is a great opportunity for those guys as well.
Welch is going to field this one about 2 yards deep in the end zone. Finally gets out to about the 21, and that'll be where we see Cornelius Brown and company take the field for Alabama A&M. Down 52-3 here in the third quarter. Welch, as you've mentioned, has been a big bright spot offensively and even in the return game for this Alabama A&M team. But
even coming out of the backfield on that little bit of trickeration in the first half, the double reverse, got him along the left sideline for 22 yards.
Made him the leading rusher as well for this Alabama A&M team. Quick play here. Handoff's going to go to Eglin. Eglin is gobbled up by this Govs defense. That's a gain of about 2. Knifley Jr. was in there on the stop, along with Jaden McKinney.
And part of the reason that Alabama A&M just really has not had any pushes, they have not been able to get anything going between the tackles. And the Govs have done a great job of keeping contain on both edges, setting both edges really, really well to keep that Alabama A&M rushing attack in check.
2nd down and 8. Brown's back to pass. Has a receiver. The Govs are there. Sammy Anderson Jr.
The way Sammy Anderson broke on that, I thought he was going to get a second pick.
Pass was completed there to Jacoby Hewitt. Govs have done a great job of bottling him up in this one. Entered today's game, 7 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown, did Jacoby Hewitt. Now 3rd down and 3. Trying to get the Govs to jump off sides. Brown is going to now look back for the call. We also have to mention here, Christian Anderson's been the starter at right tackle since about play number 2 offensively. As that should be enough for the first down. If not, it'll be inches. They do give the first down there, so Eglin picks up the first down for Alabama A&M. But we talked about Elias Cloy, the redshirt freshman, getting the start at center. We didn't see the normal starter Jabari Stanley in there, so of course he's starting on the offensive line. From there, it also looks like B.J. Maxina, who is the backup right guard, starting at left guard in this one as well. So a lot of changes on that offensive line are needing time as quickly throw. This is caught by Hewlett, and he does make a move. Great tackle by the Governors on the sidelines. Sammy Anderson Jr., call his name again. He comes over with a big hit there.
But Cornelius Brown, immediately the Govs are just on him as soon as the ball is snapped. This offensive line for Alabama A&M, and it's, to your point, there's just so many moving parts in different places than they are accustomed to being, or getting more time than they are accustomed to being on the field. It's been a huge, huge issue for the Bulldogs tonight.
Back to pass yet again. Brown avoids the sack. He's going to have someone open down the sideline. Good catch across the middle of the field. Upended by the Governors, and you can see the Governor sideline fired up. Looks like Jaden Lyles may have been one of the culprits over there on the side to just take the legs out from under Donovan Price.
Jaden Lyles and Chase Allen both getting over there. Two former Lipscomb Academy players who played under current UAB head coach Trent Dilfer combining on that one.
So quickly got back to the line, did Cornelius Brown, and throws this one out of play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Was trying to hit his receiver, Hambrick. A lot of good Tennessee products here. Mentioned Hendersonville. Can I give a shout out to my guy, Davin Garinger, former Clarksville High School Wildcat, playing right here in Clarksville's hometown team. See him on the side, throwing out some signals. Want to see him maybe in this game. We don't know. As that one is almost picked off by the Governors.
And that was very, very close. Winding up in the hands of number 11 for the Govs. That's Brody Williams getting some run tonight.
So Brody Williams almost gets the pick. That brings up 3rd down and 10 from the 33. Eglin will stay out there. Trips to the right of Brown. Receiver singled up to his left. Gets the call. Hambrick out here. Herring's out here. Brown's going to look that way. Fires this one. Herring's there. He is hit as he tries to catch it. That is incomplete. Jarred loose on a dominating blow by the Governors. Take a look at that one again. That might have been Jaden Lyles coming back into the frame. And Lyles, not only does he put the body on him, he puts his shoulder on the ball to make sure that Herring can't bring it in. And Jaden Lyles, he has been unstoppable.
Jaden Lyles listed at 5'11", 203 and plays like he's about 6'8", 270. He just absolutely plays so much bigger than he is, just leveling whoever has the ball.
Leading tackler for the Govs entering this game, had 11 last week as well. As 4th down and 10, put up time for Cornelius Brown, and it's swatted, or it does get the pass completed across. I thought it got bounced around back there. I saw Brown hit the deck. Good catch there, though, by number 5. That's Miles Parker. That'll be a 1st down for Alabama A&M with about 40 seconds remaining here.
Unfortunately for Cornelius Brown, that's just kind of been par for the course for him this evening. When he lets it loose, he is going down under a hail of Governors.
Handoff's going to go to Eglin. Eglin has a break in the middle here. Defense comes up. They don't wrap up, though. Let's say Eglin get a 1st down or close to it here. Clock still ticking down. It'll be 2nd down and about 1 now with about 15 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. I don't know if Alabama A&M will try to get a playoff here before. They're running up 5 seconds here, 3, 2, and they will not get one off here before we get to the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, it's been all Austin Peay
of the 3rd quarter.
Governors commanding lead 52-3. Alabama A&M, they're in the red zone. We'll have the fourth quarter and more coming at you here on ESPN+.
And efficiency of our game day experience. For more information,
Welcome back to Clarksville. Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M 52-3, trying to get win number 1 on the season as we get started here in the fourth quarter. We talked a little bit about Alabama A&M's notable alums. How about some Austin Peay notable alums? How about our guy Trenton Hassel played in the NBA? A.J. Ellis, MLB player. Bonnie Sloan, first player that was a Governor drafted into the NFL, was also the first ever deaf player in the NFL as well. And then our guy Bob Harper, one of the trainers on The Biggest Loser. So a couple other names we've had. You've probably seen his commercials. Ryan Harper, who played for the Nationals and a couple other stops along the way in the MLB. And, of course, Sean Kelly, who played for the Yankees. So Austin Peay still trying to get there. We had Mike DeLillo in here. He's playing in the UFL. Yep. So he's a guy who's still continuing his career. He was in the booth next to us. Talk a little bit with the radio guys next to us. You and I aren't on the list.
Yeah, that's weird.
I made the list. So that's the issue, I guess. I don't know.
Got it. Okay. Yeah,
Try to stay humble as much as possible.
I would have thought you valued yourself more highly than that.
Hand off here to start off the fourth quarter. Gov's defense there. It's going to be good enough for a first down, though, for Alabama A&M. So, unfortunately here, Alabama A&M, they're trying to give everything they've got. A lot of the second-team guys may be in here defensively for the Governors, but you know that sideline doesn't want to give up a touchdown.
No, and those guys are those first-teamers. They are over there being loud and rooting on those second-teamers just as hard as those guys were for them earlier when they were on the field. I mean, this is a team that gets behind one another, stays behind one another. I mean, I think that's how they've been able to weather the adversity from the first couple weeks of the season.
Handoff goes to Eglin, and it will go nowhere. The defenders are all around.
And that would be Jaden Lyles again.
Jaden Lyles comes up, makes a big hit. See a couple of those big names. Bo Spearman. How about Bo Spearman? One of my public speaking students.
I was wondering where you're heading with that.
Hey.
Does he get extra credit based on how he performs out here?
He's had some good plays tonight. Don't let him know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to, I don't know if I can build that into a rubric. We'll see what happens.
Feels like it might be unfair to the other students that you get an extra 10 points on any exam if you get 10 tackles on Saturday.
I tell all the kids, you want to go get some extra credit. Go make tackles. Handoff here again. No, it's going to be a pass by Brown, and that is just a good RPO read as Cornelius Brown finally strikes for Alabama A&M. He finds his receiver. That was Donovan Price, who's able to bring in the first touchdown for Alabama A&M against the Governors. Just a beautifully designed play, just a great RPO throw right in the back of the end zone. The tight end was there. Break down a little bit in coverage there. Safeties, corners don't see him. Linebacker more than likely didn't get the jam on him, but Cornelius Brown, that's got to feel good to finally get in the end zone no matter what quarter it's in. As the Govs do lead 52-9, awaiting this extra point. And it is up, and it is blocked. It's going to bounce. It's taking a very good Governor's bounce. Austin Peay scoops it up. Can they return it further than where they're at? They are pushed out of bounds, but it is blocked, and the score will be 52-9. How about Austin Peay? Fired up after giving up the touchdown, comes up, gets a hand on it on the block, and the Governors say, we don't want any more points given up. As we head to a break here, Governors leading Alabama A&M 52-9 right here on ESPN+.
Over the years, we've handed out some pretty large checks, but none have been bigger than the ones we've paid to the order of the students in the great state we call home. The Tennessee Lottery, proud to have raised more than $7.5 billion for education. Now that's some game-changing, life-changing fun.
Coleman Tractor. We're more than just a dealership. We're a place where families come together, where smiles are shared, and where dreams take root. Whether you're searching for a new Kubota tractor, parts, or dropping off your tractor for maintenance, our team goes the extra mile to ensure you have what you need. From household tasks to the toughest jobs, our lineup of Kubotas at Coleman Tractor are with you every step of the way. We're working hard to keep you working.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field.
And in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team. Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss
and being humble after a win. We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the United Athletic Conference.
Tonto jump on it, brings us back in. Well, the Governors' offense, defense, special teams, they've jumped on it tonight. They're up 52-9 over Alabama A&M, and we'll take a look at the game summary through 3 quarters of play. Cornelius Brown finally getting a touchdown, 12 of 21, 174 yards. Also has the interception. Austin Smith, 114 yards to the air and 1 touchdown. Look at those penalty numbers. It's been a pretty clean game for most. I mean, early on, Alabama A&M.
There was that one
those
drive
penalties
for Alabama A&M that really shortened the field. But beyond that, it's been pretty clean.
Also giving a shout-out to the Governors, 199 rushing yards. Coach Jeff Ferris is probably wiping some sweat from his brow. Finally, a game where we're almost at 200 rushing yards. You got to love that. if you're Coach Jeff Ferris, as McCready's kick will be fielded on the sky kick to about the 20. The fair catch will be called for, and that'll be where the Governors take back over. We'll see if Austin Smith comes back out here.
And to your point, it's not just that it's got to look great and got to feel great for Coach Ferris to get to that 200-yard mark. That's got to feel so good for Austin Smith, because I know the numbers don't pop off the screen at you. I believe it's 10 for 13 for 114 yards. Nobody's best game ever. I mean, he threw for 290 a couple of weeks ago. But everything has been so much simpler for him today. He's had such cleaner looks throughout the game.
Well, Austin Smith, it looks like his day is done. Quarterback now in for the Governors should be Jake Johnson. We'll wait to see here in a minute, but a handoff on the first play there. That is Johnson who comes in for Austin Peay. So the new quarterback, Jake Johnson, 5'10", 191 graduate student from Knoxville, Tennessee. Transferred in from Rollins College to the Governors. He steps in, played a little bit last week against UCA late in that one. His handoff's going to go. Good move by the running back to make a couple men miss. Still on his feet, still running. Trying to inch for a first down. I believe he will have it.
That's Corey Richardson back there now. The Governors getting plenty of extended look for a lot of these younger guys. I mean, you could see across the board, it's time to let the young dudes play and show what they've got.
So Richardson, we saw Williams get a touchdown. Now Richardson showing off the shiftiness. A little counter move for Richardson. Another step through. Still on his feet. Should have another first down or close to it. Should be about a gain of 9, it looks like. Corey Richardson, he is one of those, he looks like a pinball. Just bouncing around, bouncing off the offensive line, defensive line, linebackers. Finally, the safety's coming up to take away the threat. But
Corey Richardson listed at 5'7", 161, but not afraid to stick his nose in there and run between the tackles.
Johnson again, handoff. Again, Richardson has a first down, cuts back out. Finally brought down by Petway.
Number 26, Corey Richardson.
Corey Richardson, though, a first down, and just the speed. You talk a little bit about north and south running, but when you have a guy who has such a quick cut, you can see him go a little east to west before he gives that little shimmy shake to go back up north and south. That has been Richardson's game thus far. Just try to bounce the outside, and then you'll see that quick cut back inside. He's got first down here for Austin Peay from the 49 is where the call is going to be. Again, handoff goes Richardson. Again, a counter step, has another move back. Saw the whole left side of the line go away, cuts back over, gains about 4. Should be second down and 6 for Austin Peay.
And when you stood on the sideline for 3 quarters and you watched the success of the 1s and the 2s, and it's your time to get out there as a young player, you have to be licking your chops at the opportunity before you. I mean, he is running with purpose. He's running with vision, making great cuts, making great reads on his lanes. This is impressive to watch for a younger guy.
Second down and 6. Handoff yet again, and another good move there. And again, still running. Flag's going to come in. It should be about a gain of 4, a very hard-fought gain of 4. But the holding flag, more than likely, is what we'll see called here by the head official.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 47. 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the run. Automatic. First out.
Well, Governors fans are happy that I'm wrong on that call, because that's going to be a first down for Austin Peay.
And you call yourself a broadcaster, sir.
I call myself a broadcaster, not a forecaster, because I forecasted that incorrectly. I may have a job in meteorology, though, if I can keep that up. We'll never know. You only have to be right at least about 30% of the time. Shout out to all my meteorology friends out there.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get some letters from meteorologists now.
That's okay. So first down for the Governors from about the 26-yard line. And now whistles from the officials. And again, the play clock has been off. Just waiting to see. They're put the ball back down, and now they'll Run the clock. Is that what they were waiting for? Yes, and they're going to actually run the clock. I guess the clock may have not started, and that's where we saw the issue and why the play was blown dead there. So Austin Peay, Jake Johnson in at quarterback. Austin Smith's night is done. Richardson, the running back. And again, Richardson, another good move, has another good lane, holding on to a shoestring tackle, and Richardson dives forward.
This is a different look now. This is Cortland Simmons, 5'11", 203, out of Madison, Tennessee.
So Cortland Simmons comes in. Looks very similar running style. Now we'll see Richardson come back in. 26 and 29. Looks similar on that one. Second down and 1 for Austin Peay. Tight end comes over to block the side. Johnson's going to keep it around the outside. He'll have the first down, and he's rowed down by number 37. That's Jordan Milton. So Alabama A&M reserves coming in as well late in this one. They know that there's a long season ahead of them in the SWAC.
Great opportunity for both these teams, developing depth, getting young guys some playing time.
So first down and 10 as we go under 9 minutes here remaining in the contest. And Jake Johnson just picked up the first down. Handoff's going to go to the running back. A good cut. Does he have room? Cuts back in. It's another good block, and it's another run to the end zone. Touchdown, Governors. Touchdown, Richardson.
And I believe that's number 5 on the ground tonight for the Governors. First time since 2021, Austin Peay has punched in 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground. That was against Murray State that year on October 23rd.
Take a look at it again. Just a beautiful cut back, then right, using the big blocks in front of him to get into the end zone. The third running back to score a touchdown in this one. Lavelle Wright has 3 of them. Richardson and now Williams, now Richardson, I should say, also with scores. So Austin Peay, they lead 59-9 here in the fourth quarter. More action coming to you here on ESPN+. 8:41 remaining in the fourth quarter. Austin Peay trying to get win number 1 of the Jeff Ferris era, and it's looking great. They have a 50-point lead here, up 59-9 against Alabama A&M. We're taking a look at the upcoming schedules for Alabama A&M. They're on the road at Florida A&M on September 28th. Then another SWAC conference matchup at Jackson State. And then their homecoming game against Bethune-Cookman. From here on out, it's all SWAC play remaining for Alabama A&M. They'll have Alabama State on October 26th, and then Southern on November 2nd. They'll round out from there with games against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Grambling State, and Mississippi Valley State. Again, all SWAC opponents remaining in the last non-conference game for Alabama A&M. Carson Smith's had a busy night.
That'll happen when you put up 59 points.
A lot of times when you hear that, you're thinking, oh, maybe there's a lot of field goals. No, this isn't a Washington Commanders game.
I was going to say,
not
not Commando Shines last weekend.
Absolutely not. It's been a lot of kickoffs here for Carson Smith, and I'm sure if you ask Carson Smith if he was okay with that, he would be saying, absolutely, that means our team is up big. So he's proud to be out here doing this, and Carson Smith will tee this one off yet again here in the fourth quarter, and it's another big booming kick that will be bouncing out of the back of the end zone. So it'll be a touchback yet again for Smith, and Alabama A&M will take the field yet again. Cornelius Brown looks like he will stay in this game. And I mentioned earlier, we saw Smith in this one. 5 quarterbacks have been used over the season for Alabama A&M. You would think maybe in moments like this, maybe you put another one of those guys in, but no, staying with Cornelius Brown. Wanting to see something, I think. Maybe wanting to see, hey, we've used multiple quarterbacks here. Here in this game, you're down big. Can you still take command and lead a drive? We saw one where he scored on it. But now you're down another touchdown. Can you still command a game? And that may be what they're looking for, leadership out of Cornelius Brown.
Yeah, and just, he's going out there, he's running offense, but can you get the guys behind you, I think. And to your point as well, you have mentioned you're a coach. What do you want to see from guys in a game like this? When you're on either side of a score like this?
Getting better each time. That's a big thing that, you preach in no matter what happens in a blowout or whatever it is, either side of it. You just want to see your guys getting better and still continuing to fight, I think, is one of the big things as Austin Peay's defense continues to fight here on that handoff. Finally brought down was DJ Moffitt, who gets brought down by this Governor's defense, who has swarmed the run game in this one. That has been one part of the Alabama A&M game that they will be frustrated with. Only 57 rushing yards total for Alabama A&M in this one on 29 rushing attempts. They've had really good passing numbers, but the run game is non-existent.
It's a little taste of how the Governors felt through the first 3 games because it was just so difficult to get consistency on the ground. Not an issue this evening.
Back to pass yet again is Brown on 3rd down. Has a man. Good job defensively. Almost picked off. Got to give credit. Austin Peay's defense came swarming in. That was Christian Lewis. And then trying to dive on for the interception. The Governors were right on top of it. Just could not bring it in. And now the punting unit will come back out for Alabama A&M. Take a look at it once more here. In the hands of the receiver. That one hit the ground early. I thought maybe from our angle we didn't really get to see the ball bounce.
And that's happened a couple of times tonight. And it's kind of difficult. I know the fault on the stat sheet will rest with Brown, but it's really difficult to blame him for those where he's put in a good window and just the ball's been jarred loose or a guy's dropped it.
Well, Ramon Copeland Jr. says, my day may be done at receiver, but I'm going to try to get a good return here. He fields that one over the shoulder. A lot of times you'd have a special teams coach not happy with you when you're trying to do that, but Ramon Copeland Jr.'s had a pretty decent night.
Yeah,
so
he's bought himself a little grace.
Let the guy go there. So we're going to step aside. Austin Peay back on offense when we come back on ESPN+.
Brought to you by Singletary Construction. Discover
59-9, your score. Austin Peay leading Alabama A&M. Governors getting set for their stretch of UAC games, as we'll get this offensive play underway here. Handoff's going to go to the running back, and yet again, a gain of about 2 before the running back's brought down. Again, talking about Austin Peay's upcoming schedule, we'll be right back here next Saturday as Austin Peay hosts Southern Utah. Good battle here in Forterra Stadium. Then at West Georgia, the UAC newcomer, and ASUN newcomer as well for the Governors in all sports. At Utah Tech on October 19th, then home here for homecoming against Tarleton State on October 26th before going on the road down to Florence to take on North Alabama. Govs end up the season with Abilene Christian and Eastern Kentucky to finish out UAC play, and then one more non-conference game on November 23rd as they take on Chattanooga. Again, another handoff here. Cortland Simmons now getting the start on this drive. Had one run earlier. So that brings up 3rd down and about 8. So Johnson, who's come in for Austin Smith. Third down and 8 for the Governors. Again, just trying to drain this clock a little bit here. As we go under 6 minutes remaining in the contest. Governors about to pick up first win of the Jeff Ferris era.
And that's got to feel great for him because, you know, it doesn't matter if you win the first one, the 9th one.
As Johnson's going to throw a pick. Chance to return it. A good move at the goal line. Trying to stretch. Intercepted, though. Johnson airmails it to the defender. And now on the 1-yard line is where Alabama A&M will take over. Delvin Gully with the pick and the return there. And Alabama A&M, again, we talked about this, not wanting to quit, not giving up, not willing to do it. And Johnson just airmails this one.
Yeah, missed him a little bit outside, and Alabama A&M now knocking on the door of adding a few more here.
Credit goes to the quarterback, though, on the tackle. How about that?
Yeah.
Refusing to give up. Johnson throws the pick and also will go in the stat sheet for a tackle. As we see Brown here again in that quarterback, has a new running back to his left. I believe this is Moffitt. Handoff goes to Moffitt, and he will barrel his way into the end zone for another touchdown. Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs, refusing to give up here. And I would imagine, I would think 2 plays.
May as well be time for 2.
I would say go for 2 here, but looks like the extra point squad will come out here. McCready leads the way.
On the one hand, I get it, because why put anything on tape unnecessarily? But on the other hand, maybe run it a time or 2 and, you know, get comfortable with it, see what works, what doesn't work. I mean, you can kick all the PATs you want.
Kick is up, and it is good for Austin McCready, leading out 59-16 Austin Peay. Well, Colby, we've seen Johnson come in for Austin Peay, and really they were just having him kind of hand the ball off, and that was working fairly well, and he had a good run himself on a keeper around the edge, and then this time letting him go to the air, and just airmails it there to set up that touchdown, the 1-yard run there by Moffitt. Austin Peay here, you have Johnson. Do you stick with Johnson here? That's going to be a question as well, as you obviously don't want him to get discouraged on that interception thrown.
Sure, and I mean, what happens if you need to go to him later? He's your pretty clear number 3. I don't know that you want to pull him here necessarily and have the last pass he's thrown before you need him again be that pass.
Correct. So we'll see what Austin Peay does here after this kickoff, and it is the kicker is listed as the backup kicker on our 2 deep here, Christian Silverstein, the freshman. He's been sky kicking towards the Alabama A&M bench, so we'll see what he does here. Looks like this one's a sky kick over to Ramon Copeland Jr., who does call for the fair catch at the 20, and that's be where Austin Peay and their offense will take over yet again.
So what I was saying before we were really interrupted by the interception is for Coach Ferris, getting that first win, it doesn't really matter when you get it. It's lonely seeing that 0 in the win column for you as a head coach. You want to get that out of the way. You want to get that first one as soon as you can. So you can't help but be happy for him now to finally put a win in the win column for himself and move forward with some positive momentum now.
So first down and 10 for the Governors. Handoff's going to go, and again on the ground, a good carry. Johnson does stay in this one. Williams, the running back that's back in here for Austin Peay.
Governors piling up the carries now. 41 attempts on the ground for Austin Peay now. Most since they did 55 against Utah Tech last November.
So second down and 5 now for Austin Peay. 4:55 remaining in the contest. Johnson will call for this one again. Another handoff for the Governors. Good stutter. And nearing the first down. About third down and 1 for the Govs. And I believe that they'll stick to the formula that's gotten them into this situation and hand off another one.
I mean, when you're averaging 6 a pop on the ground for the game, you know you've really found something that's working for you.
Third down and 1 for Austin Peay. Again, another handoff, and that should be good enough for a first down and more for the Govs. Caden Williams still grinding here. He's going to finally come out.
And nobody has really been the main guy. I realize that Lavelle Wright has the big number, but we've got 5 guys with 6 or more carries so far this evening for the Govs.
Well, Richardson's the new back in here for Austin Peay. And again, like we say, we should continue to see this heavy dose of running the football. Again, another handoff. Richardson has a hole, cuts the outside, makes the man miss. He's still on his feet at the 30, at the 20. Spins off a tackle down to about the 13. He's still going before he's finally stopped. They're going to mark him at the 13. Richardson still has life. Austin Peay still has life. It's going to stop the clock for a moment here. But the Governors still on the attack here.
I wasn't a math major here, but I'm pretty sure that puts the Govs over 300 yards on the ground this evening. First time since 2022 against Eastern Kentucky. Austin Peay's been so successful in the run game.
If I had to do the math, 323 is my guess.
Wow, you're really good at this.
I glanced really quick.
Wow. Weren't you a comm major too? You must have had to take the stats class.
I took one stats class.
I didn't have to take the stats class.
That was the lone math class that I took. So first down for the Governors from the 13. They're in the red zone here. Austin Peay will hold this for a little bit. I think they'll let a little bit of time go off. I see Jack Baker in the backfield currently. Got 2 tight ends there. Head, we saw him with a good catch. Jack Baker, the pride of Fairview, Tennessee, in as well. Big blocking tight end. Misdirection. Johnson's going to keep it. Johnson's able to still make it back to the original line of scrimmage. He turned around as we see an injured player for Alabama A&M on the turf here.
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
Number 92, Arenza Davis. Unfortunately, on the turf, he's getting trainers out there to check on him.
And obviously, late in the game like this, that's just the last thing you want to see. This one's far beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point.
You got a lot of injuries that we've seen for Alabama A&M coming into this one. It happened somewhat early. We've seen some guys who've had to step in and be a part of the line, almost a makeshift line kind of put together for these two teams, for Alabama A&M's offensive unit. A lot of backups who were in the game and had to come in at some point for that offensive line group. We even saw Cloy, who's the backup center, at a point grab at his ankle, but say he was going to stay in. He could feel the feeling again and got back to it. As you mentioned, late in the game, you hate to see a player injured. Looks like the trainers are going to try to boost him up here. So he is up. The injured player is up on his feet. That's, again, Davis. And he is a little hobbled, but walking under his own power. It's always hopefully a good sign. Imagine even Davis's day will be done here late in this game with 2:42 on the clock. That'll restart as soon as the officials call for it. So again, 2nd down and 9 for Austin Peay. A big run by Richardson got him here to the 13-yard line, and then Johnson had a little bit of struggles. Missed his handoff.
Still managed to get a yard out of it.
And again, they'll hold here for as long as they can before they have to snap the ball. About 15 left on the play clock. Eight seconds. Calls for the play. Handoff goes to Richardson. Richardson cuts the outside. Richardson has the corner. Richardson at the 1.
He tried to tightrope down that sideline.
Corey Richardson trying to pump one in there again. I thought he was going to dive into the end zone for a score. Brings up a first down.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And we hit that 2-minute timeout, and we're going to step aside. Austin Peay leading 59-16 here on ESPN+. Final 2 minutes here from Clarksville. Austin Peay leading 59-16. Take a look at the CES drive of the game, and it's not really a drive.
It was very brief.
It was a one-play punt return, though, by Ramon Copeland Jr., but if you look at it this way,
please reset
he was probably driving faster than most cars that you see
reset the game clock
on the road. His speed was phenomenal. He's definitely probably got a ticket here on Marion Street for as fast
100%.
as he was running this back. So we'll call it the drive of the game. But it set the Governors up in good territory as we see victory formation here for Austin Peay from the 2-yard line. We'll see Johnson take knees here to end this one out. And that'll be the first knee that will have to be taken by Austin Peay. So again, the Governors, the first win of the season. Snaps a 4-game losing streak going back to last year's playoff game.
Nice to get back in that win column for the Governors.
And you get confidence heading into UAC play.
Mm-hmm.
But for Coach Jeff Ferris, it's win number 1 as a head coach, win number 1 at Austin Peay. And finally, after weeks and months and everything of saying, hey, you got to believe in us, you have to believe in us, don't give up on us, Governor Faithful, comes back to the fort.
59-16 will get a lot of people believing.
So the second knee here, Governors, I think still they'd have to really, more than likely, kind of back up quarterback Jake Johnson if they want to. He's got to, he'll be more than fine after he gets this last knee here on third down to be able to run this clock out. He's just got to take one more knee here with 10 seconds on the play clock. He's just got to get it under 40, which it will be, and he'll take this final knee, and that will do it here in Forterra Stadium as these final 30 seconds will tick off the clock. Austin Peay with a victory over Alabama A&M. Coach Jeff Ferris, his first ever victory as the Governor's head coach. And it's one that he will remember. It's one that the Governor's faithful will remember as well. As Austin Peay improves to 1-3 on the season, Alabama A&M will drop to 2-2. Well, for my guy Colby Wilson, our crew here, I'm Ethan Schmidt saying so long from Clarksville, Tennessee. Your final score, Austin Peay 59, Alabama A&M 16. Don't forget, all games airing on the ESPN networks are live and archived. This has been a presentation of ESPN.